people who were present in class concerning the last class that held. And I'm sure you were able to learn a lot. So welcome to class. I'm really happy to be here. And I know we're going to have a very, very swell time. If this is your first time of being in an emotional intelligence class, please do let me know by typing 11. If you have been in class, if you have been in a class where emotional intelligence has been taught before, please also let me know. Okay, so if this is your first time, just help me type 11. If this is not your first time, then type 22. Can we do it that way? If this is your first time, type 11. If this is not your first time, type 22. Right, do we have the comments coming in? Let me check my chat. Okay, I see 11s and I see 22s. All right, please, who can tell me what you see on your screen? I want to be sure my screen is showing. What do you see on my screen? What can you see on my screen?
So we can see the emotional, the empathy and social awareness, but it is not, it's not yet.
It's not full.
Yes.
All right, all right. Let me stop the screen sharing and reshare. Okay. All right, let me start by making a little introduction. I hope you'll be able to read off the screen. My name is Dr. Ifeoma Nonyelum Eze. I am a senior emotional intelligence professional. And I'm also a chartered management consultant with IIPM International. And there are lots and lots of things about me. You can read up the rest of the screen because I'm not going to spend lots and lots of time to do the introduction. But for today, what you need to know about me is that my name is Dr. Ifeoma Eze, and I'm a senior, a chartered emotional intelligence professional. And I'm here to help your understanding of emotional intelligence. I want to assure you that we are going to be having a very, very insightful time. And my class is always interactive. So I want every one of us to do this together, okay? I'd like us to respond as much as we can. I'd like us to make sure that we have our full attention in class. And it's going to be very, very, very fascinating. I am married. I'm married to Bishop Obudilieze. I am blessed with 3 sons, David, Daniel, and Dominion. I'm an author of several books, over 60 books, and I'm also a songwriter, written over 115 songs. And I've been an administrator for 16 years, thereabouts. So you're in good hands this morning, and I know we're going to be having a very good time. So that's the little introduction about me. Let's hop into class proper. Okay. So I am sure that at this time you can see my screen fully. All right. So welcome to class, everyone. And if you can hear me loud and clear, please type 00. That's how we start off in class today. Yes, yes, yes. I see plenty zeros coming in. Thank you, May Henshaw. Thank you, Oluwaseun. Thank you, Doctor. Oh, the names are running so fast. Thank you, Victor, Kingsley, Gabriel, Joanne, Hilda. The names are running so fast in the comment section. Pius, Ibitoye, Callistus. Thank you, everyone. If I didn't mention your name, please don't be offended with me. There are so many names coming in at the same time. Welcome to class, everyone. I believe you're going to gain lots and lots and lots of things from this class. In the last class, we were able to give you a briefing about emotional intelligence. And I like everyone in your own language. See, there are no wrong or right answers. Just feel free and let me know, what do you understand in your own way? What do you understand emotional intelligence to be? Please share with me in the comment section. I'll be reading your chats. All right, share with me in the comment section. What's your own understanding of emotional intelligence? Having been in the first class and you're ready for the second module, what's your own understanding of emotional intelligence? Even if you've not heard about emotional intelligence before, just feel free to just say what you think it is, all right? We'll do this together. Is anyone talking to me? I am waiting for the first comment. Oh, I guess we are still typing. So what do you understand emotional intelligence to be? What's your own understanding? Do we have anybody typing? All right, I have the comments flying in. I have the first one from Abosade Akimu, who said ability is the ability to perceive and understand emotions. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Irene said is the ability to manage ourselves inside out. That's wonderful. Callistus Ekechuku said ability to manage your emotions. Beautiful. I need to expand this. Yes. Okay. Patience, Anime, Agay said is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions and that of others. That's fantastic. Najim Lasisi said, control of individual subconsciousness. I love that. Itoro Etim said, EI in my own understanding is simply the art of understanding, interpreting, and managing personal emotions and that of those around us. That's good. That's good. Kingsley Okani Silvana said, emotional intelligence people are those that make good decisions and are motivated individuals. I love that. Mahesha said the ability to be aware of, control, and express one's emotion and relate with others. That's fantastic. James Billy Atterson said emotional intelligence to me is the ability to understand yourself and manage your emotion. I love that. Pius Benjamin said taking charge of your emotions and those of and understanding those around you. That's really good. Dauda said, Adada Mohammed said, ability to understand one's self-conscious and emotions. All right, understanding your own emotions and that of others. That's interesting. Frank Etim said, EI. He said, EI is the ability to confuse people emotionally. No. But we said today that there are no wrong answers, so don't be worried about that. But we're not confusing people when we have high emotional intelligence. So I like your different answers, and especially that of 18 that got me laughing. Emotional intelligence is you understanding your emotions, being in control of your emotions, tuning into the emotions of others, and then being able to understand them. Researchers have it that emotional intelligence contributes to 80% of the reason why somebody is promoted, why somebody is hired, why somebody is made a leader. And if this is something that would enhance your professionalism, if this is something that will make you experience increase and growth in your professional life, it is something that you truly have to pay attention to. And under emotional intelligence, we have different competencies. See them like different branches, see them like different ingredients that make up that pot of soup, okay? These are the things that make up emotional intelligence. We have the self-awareness, okay? Then we have the self-regulation. Then we have empathy. Then we have self-motivation. And then we have relationship management. Some school of thoughts believe that emotional intelligence have 5 competencies, while some believe that it has 4 competencies. But whatever, no matter the school of thought involved, one thing they all agree on is that emotional intelligence has 2 major areas. But before I share with you what those 2 major areas are, I'd like to share with you our course objectives for today. So I'm going to reshare my screen and then show you what we have, what we're going to be looking at today, our learning objectives. Okay. Now, our learning objective for today is that today we're going to review emotional intelligence competencies. We are also going to help you cultivate empathy and build strong relationship with your team members. And we're also going to see how you can acquire conflict resolution techniques and foster a positive work environment. Okay, so these are the things that we're going to be able to achieve today. Now, let's take an overview of emotional intelligence competencies. You had a class yesterday, and I'm sure it was very, very insightful, but I'm going to just do a quick run over it for those who were not able to be in the class yesterday. I'm not going to go through everything, but I'm just going to just mention the major concepts that will help you understand. Is that okay? All right, so emotional intelligence, like I said earlier, refers to your ability to recognize, understand, and manage emotions both in yourself and that of others. Have you ever seen somebody who is who in your organization, around you, in your life, who seems to always be in control of what they are feeling? You know, that person seems to always know exactly what the person wants. They are always like they know what to do, even in the midst of confusion. When every other person is running helter-skelter, they seem to be in charge of their emotions. They seem to be in control. They don't allow their emotions to control them. If you see such a person, there is this endearment you usually have towards the person. You want to know more about the person. You want to know who the person is. And in most organizations, such people become the leaders. You know, that person that is easy to talk to, that is the person with high emotional intelligence. And I must say very, very, very intently that emotional intelligence is not an innate skill. Like, it is not a skill you were born with. Many people say, oh, if I have emotional intelligence, I have it. If I don't have it, I don't have it. No, no, no. It doesn't work like that. All right. Emotional intelligence is something you can build on. The beautiful thing about emotional EQ, that's emotional quotient, over the IQ, that is the intellectual quotient, is that somebody who has a low intellectual quotient really does not have the ability to learn. It's difficult for the person to learn new things. It's difficult for the person to improve on their knowledge capacity, right? But then for EQ, everybody, just about everybody, can improve on the way they are able to handle their emotions. Just about everybody can improve on the way they are able to relate with other people. So that is why emotional intelligence is so, so important. It's not just about the other person. It's not just about you alone. It is also both about you and about the other person. Emotional intelligence encompasses a range of competencies that contribute to effective interpersonal relationships, personal well-being, and overall success in various areas of life. Now, if I wouldn't want to complicate things, I like you to just look at emotional intelligence as your 2 hands. Can you move your 2 hands where you are? I know I might not be seeing you, but I know those who are really not moving their hands. I can see you from my screen through some kind of powers. Just move your 2 hands, yeah? Are you moving your 2 hands? Now, take your left hand as your personal competence. Are you saying that? Then take your other hand, the right hand, as your social competence. Are you doing that? Now, emotional intelligence, just see like something that has 2 hands. There are 2 competencies, you know. With your 2 hands, you're able to be more productive, more useful. Just see the personal competence and the social competence as the 2 hands of emotional intelligence. Now, the left hand, like we said earlier, is your personal competence. The right hand is your social competence. What do we mean by personal competence? Personal competence means that this is what you do for yourself with yourself. All right, that's the aspect of emotional intelligence that has to do with you. And the other right hand, the social competence, is the part that has to do with somebody else. Now, let's look at it this way. Emotional intelligence competence can be seen in this grid in front of us. I hope you can all see my slide. If you can see my slide, please type 1-1. Let me be sure I am not on my own. If you can see my slide, type 1-1. All right, thank you, everyone. I see this 1-1's coming in. All right, so the personal competence has to do with you, with yourself. And when we look at the personal competence, we have to look at the part of recognition. So there is recognition in personal competence, and there is regulation in personal competence. In the right hand to social competence, there is recognition in the social competence, and there is also regulation in the social competence. What we mean by this is that for you to be personally competent emotionally, you need to be able to recognize and regulate. For you to also be socially competent, you need to recognize and regulate. Now, let me break it down. For personal competence of emotional intelligence, number one thing you need to recognize is to recognize yourself. Self-awareness. Who are you? When last did anybody ask you that question? Who are you? Let me ask you another question. What are you? Let me ask you yet another question. What kind of things trigger feelings of happiness in you? What kind of things trigger feelings of sadness in you? What kind of things trigger feelings of shame, of anger in you? This is where you are able to recognize yourself. Every one of us are different. The things that make us up are our IQ, intellectual quotient, our EQ, emotional quotient, and our personality. When you are able to understand yourself, when you're able to be aware of your emotional state, when you are able to recognize how your behavior affects others, when you're able to pay attention to how what others do affects you, you know that I can come to this class and just say, hello, hello. And somebody tells Caesar, what's she up to? Another person says, is like she looks excited. Another person says, this reminded me of that person that duped me last time. You know, we interpret things differently because we are all different. Now, the secret is in you recognizing yourself. Who are you? What triggers you? What makes you to sleep at night and you can't sleep because you really need to do that? What is the thing that moves you? What are the things that pushes you to achieve? Self-awareness. You cannot become an emotionally intelligent person until you know yourself. Second one is that beyond knowing yourself is the one level, but the second level is to be able to manage yourself, self-management. So the fact that I know that I'm easily hot-tempered does not mean that if I refuse to manage the hot-temperedness, I will be a good person. It doesn't work like that. So you need to know, okay, if I am a hot-tempered fellow, then I should do everything to avoid the things that trigger my hot-temperedness. That is the point where you are managing yourself. So emotional intelligence, number one, is about recognizing yourself, your emotions. Two is about managing your emotions. See, emotions are not a bad thing. Forget anybody who ever told you that emotions are not our enemies. We all have emotions, even the very best of us. We all have emotions. But the issue is not having emotions. The issue is being able to manage those emotions. So if you are able to engage in self-management, you are able to keep out disruptive emotions and you are able to keep your impulses in check. Let me ask this question. Let's be honest. I'm sure I might not be the only sinner in this class. Has somebody ever done something to you that made you feel like slapping the person before? If you have, just say a yes or a no. Please, let's just be sincere. Yes, thank you, Emmanuel. Ogun Tebeju. All right. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you, Toro. Thank you, Oluremi. Thank you, Rejoice King. Thank you, Adeshina. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Saeed. All right. So it happens. Thank you. I hope I didn't butcher that name. Sorry. All right. So it does happen, you know. It does happen. Thank you, Bulus. Yeah. And when it happens, you know that, well, you can easily slap the person. Sometimes you can actually get away with it. But you know that if you slap this person, this is not how you want to be represented. This is not how you want people to know you. So what do? You control it. That moment, that very moment is when you displayed a certain level of emotional intelligence. So while you may be hearing emotional intelligence in a class for the first time or for the second time, you have been practicing emotional intelligence without even knowing it. It's just that maybe your degree, the level of your emotional intelligence is not yet high, and that is what we intend to achieve in this class. Are you ready? Is everyone ready? All right. So another way to regulate your emotions is to act in congruence with your values. See, I was listening to an audiobook on emotional intelligence, and the author in that book said that when we are highly emotional intelligent, our reasons and emotions align. And I will never forget that. Our reasoning and emotions align. You know what makes somebody to come to the House of Reps or senators meeting and they're fighting, despite they're supposed to be lawmakers? Is because they allow their emotion to surpass their sense of reason. You cannot come to the point where you always allow your emotions to lead. And that's what we call emotional hijack. Emotional hijack happens when instead of your reasoning ruling you, instead of your values determining what you do, you now allow your emotions to take lead. But we were created in a way that the first thing that happens to us, the first thing that comes to our mind is our emotion. Like you see a snake now, the first thing that will likely come to your mind will be to run before you start looking for what to use to kill the snake. So we were created in a certain way that the information that comes passes through our emotions first before it gets to our reasoning. But then, unfortunately, some people use the emotions first and leave out the reasoning part. So in self-management as an emotional intelligence competency, you need to be able to allow your values to act, your emotions to act in congruence with your values, with your reasoning. Another way you self-manage is that you also handle change flexibly. Change will come. Change is certain. It happens. It happens to every one of us. Was it not a few weeks ago that we are buying fuel for 195, and then all of a sudden we are buying fuel for 540, and if you didn't meet up with buying in the fueling station, you have to buy for 700 in the black market shop. It's really crazy, and it's affecting every one of us. So, but you just need to know how to navigate change. Some people are giving up, while some people are making up their minds, no matter how difficult it is, we are going to fight this, we are going to keep pushing, we are going to survive this, you know? It's just in the level of emotional intelligence. Another self-management is that it also helps you to, another way to self-manage is that it helps you to pursue your goals and opportunities despite obstacles and setbacks. And that's where we talk about self-motivation. Self-motivation is a way through which you manage yourself. This is Saturday morning, and I am sure, let me just be sincere with you. When you woke up this morning, I'm sure I'm not the only one on this table, right? When you woke up this morning, what you felt like doing was just to stretch yourself out on your bed and have another 2 hours of long sleep. Was anybody like me this morning? Oh, I wake up 3 a.m. every day. So just believe me when I tell you I'm an early morning person. I'm an early riser, but this is Saturday, you know. And Saturday is meant for weddings and for extra sleep in the morning. So, but then you knew that you had a class and you disciplined yourself to pick up your phone, to click on the link and to be here. I'm sure there are other appointments you would have wanted to have this morning, but then you had to sacrifice something to be here. That is self-motivation. And like I said, it is another aspect of of emotional intelligence, and you are practicing it already. All we want to do is to increase your ability to practice emotional intelligence and increase your EQ. Yes, Mahensha, thank you. She said, yes, wanted to stretch more, but had to quickly tidy up for the class. You see, it happens to every one of us. So having spoken about personal competence, let's talk about social competence. Social competence, because I said that emotional intelligence has two hands. Who will forget that? I hope you don't forget it. Personal competence on the left and social competence on the right. So you make sure that this PC connects with this SC, because if you know yourself and you manage yourself, but you don't know how to manage others, you also don't have emotional intelligence. So what makes you an EQ personality, somebody with a high EQ, is that you are able to not just manage yourself, but to also manage your relationship with others. So let's talk about social competence. Now, let's recognize social competence. Social competence is about others. At this point, it's not just about you. It's how you see others. It's how you are able to pick up the mood in a room. Have you ever been a leader of an organization and you called for a meeting, and then the meeting started, but somehow you are talking and you're not connecting with the people? Has it ever happened to you? Please let me know. If you're a leader of 5, a leader of 10, you've been able to call a meeting, and then somehow you called for a meeting and you were trying to share maybe the agenda for the meeting, or you were passionately talking about the vision, the next vision, and then you notice that we're not connecting with you. Please, if that has happened to you ever, just let me know. Just let me know in class, please. I really want to. Somebody has a raised hand. Okay. Why I'm not doing a raised hand is that it will take so much of our time. So please, if it's possible, can you just type it in the chat room? Okay, so that we can do it together. All right. The reason of how to make me to unmute, and then before then we'll start having plenty audio problems. So let's do this together in the chat room, okay? But at the end of the class, I promise I will open up, I will unmute you so that everybody can talk, okay? Yes, thank you, Irinde, thank you, Kinsley, thank you, Bullies, thank you. Yes, everybody, I can see that. Itoro said, yes, I have experienced that before. Good. Oluremi said, yes. Yes, had other issues bothering me. All right. Mahesha said, yes, a few times, but I switch and do an icebreaker. That is fantastic. That is fantastic, because recognizing it is not enough. Knowing what to do is where the key thing is. Yes, Ayurinde Alex Olu they said, it has happened to me. I feel all the people totally disconnected from me. Yes. Ayosase, oh God, help me. Sorry, Kay said a number of times. All right, Benjamin said yes. Benjamin Kwaship. All right, so it does happen. Rejoice can said yes, especially when you have some senior colleagues. Mobolaji Olaye said, even in my small nuclear family, yes, it does happen. And when it happens, it will be an emotionally intelligent thing for you to recognize that. And then when you recognize, what then do you do? Like Mahesha told us, she switched into an icebreaker. Now, what's an icebreaker? An icebreaker may be a little joke. An icebreaker may be a story. An icebreaker may be singing. An icebreaker may be one act that can just make everybody to sing and relax around you. Just yesterday, not very long. Yesterday was the cultural day in this school, in my school, one of the small schools that I have. So I went to the school, and because I'm not always present every time, I come in twice a week. I met with some of the children. When I come in twice a week, usually on an administrative basis. So I met some of the children, and they were just looking at me. And then, yesterday's rain was, if you're in Abuja, yesterday's rain was one for the news. It was really, really terrible. And if you are in Lube Aziz like I was, you know what happened. We experienced a terrible flood. So the rain yesterday was out of normal. So while I was in the class with the children, it was raining heavily, it was cold. But then, yes, Victor said a big school. Thank you. I actually have a big school, but that one is the smaller one. But then it will soon be a big school. Yeah. So I noticed the children were just a bit cold, and I just thought of something to do. So I started asking them questions about how to greet in their native tongue. Some said they knew, some said they didn't know. They know only English and stuff like that. Eventually, I started telling them some folklores. I remember some of the folk stories my father told me, and I started sharing with them. Before you knew it, all the kids were hugging me. They were chatting everywhere. They were pulling on my dress, on my beads and stuff like that. You know, this is your ability to pick up on the mood in the room. And like Mahensha rightly said, you use an icebreaker. You look for something that is like common ground, something that can make everybody, you know, relax and reduce the tension in the room. Now, social awareness, which is also called empathy, is not only about picking up the mood in the room. You are also able to care for what others are going through. You're also able to hear what the other person is really saying. You're also able to relate with the other person in the way that they would feel you, you know. People talk about sympathy. I always say there is a difference between sympathy and empathy. In sympathy, you are just feeling for somebody, but in empathy, you are feeling with somebody. The feeling is different, okay, because you are putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Sometimes we don't listen to people. Sometimes we're in a class and we're like, what's this one feeling like? What does she think she knows? You know, stuff like that. Some other person will not say, let me really listen to her and see what she has to say. You know, we are all different. But if we employ emotional intelligence, we'll be very social aware. We'll be able to really listen to what the other person is saying. Sometimes people, your subordinates at your workplace, they come to you and they are trying to tell you something, but you're not really listening. A highly emotionally intelligent person who has social awareness, you will see the person doing two things all the time: listening and observing. Can we say it together in the chat room? Listening and observing. If you heard me, please let's say it together in the chat room. Yes, so okay, yes, listening and observing. Listening and observing. So that's what social awareness, and in this class, that's what we're going to deal with in-depthly. So what we're just doing is just an overview. So let's talk about the relationship management. In relationship management, it's a product of you being self-aware, you being able to manage yourself, and you being socially aware. If you do these three things, eventually you'll be able to have proper relationship management. What I have done for you right now is that no matter where you enter, you know what emotional intelligence is all about. I've given you like the cocoa, the main thing, what you need to know in emotional intelligence. Every other thing we're going to be talking about, you will find them inside this grid. You'll find them just around it, because what I've given you is the backbone, the skeleton, the main framework of emotional intelligence. You'll be able to get along well with others. You'll be able to handle conflict effectively. You'll be able to express yourself clearly. You'll be able to use sensitivity with other people's emotions, that is having empathy, and you'll be able to manage interactions successfully. If you are able to be self-aware, if you're able to manage yourself, if you're able to be socially aware, then you will have very wonderful relationships with other people. So this is all we're going to be talking about in this in the other modules. We'll just be expanding on them, and right now it is time to expand. Let's expand on social awareness and empathy. Are you ready? Are you ready? All right. I hope you are understanding everything I'm sharing, right? All right. So let's move on. Now, we have entered one of the major competencies. We said it's social awareness and empathy. Now, let's talk about empathy. When we talk about empathy, what is empathy? According to Roman Krznaric, he said that empathy is the act of stepping imaginatively into the shoes of another person, understanding their feelings and perspectives, and then or using that understanding to guide your actions. Let me take, for instance, you step into an executive meeting. And when you step into an executive meeting, you notice that somebody who is usually radiant, somebody who is usually attentive, the one who is always making notes and jotting what you are saying, suddenly that one became dull, passive, is not contributing to the meeting, what do you then do? How do you tune into that person's feelings? How do you imaginatively step into their shoes? How do you make them feel like they belong? That's what empathy is all about. You know, some people usually think that empathy is just about feeling sorry for someone, but that's not all there is to empathy. Empathy actually is sensing what other people are feeling, sensing other people's emotions, imagining how somebody feels, imagining what someone is thinking, mirroring someone's feelings, identifying what a person is feeling or how a person is feeling, understanding another person's feelings, seeing things from another point of view. Some of us, hey, we are like Zuma Rock. If you just, that your point of view is the beginning and the end. You don't want to care what another person is feeling, what they are thinking, or what happened and why it had to happen that way. You know, if we had a number written on the floor, if assuming I wrote 6 on the floor and somebody comes to the floor where I wrote 6 and looks at it and says it's 9, do you know that it is possible that that person is not wrong? Because from where the person is standing, what the person sees is 9, while I wrote 6. So we need to try to see things from each other's perspective. And I told you that if we want to be highly empathetic, we want to have high social awareness, then we must do 2 things: listen and observe. Listen and observe. You can't go wrong with listening to people and observing people, observing the environment, observing what people are feeling. You can never go wrong with it. You want to be highly empathetic, that's what you have to do. So empathy is essential. You know, sometimes we have to just stop talking. We're always talking, and not listening. We have to stop talking. We have to stop anticipating what people are saying. I know what she's going to say now. I know what he's going to say now. It's not always like that. So we should learn how to listen to people, see things from another person's point of view, and really listen to what others have to say. We should also learn how to feel what others are feeling, especially in moments of tragedy. All right, this is very, very key. Let's go to the next slide. All right, so we have types of empathy. There are generally just 3 types of empathy, and empathy is categorized into these following types. I'd like you to take a look at your screen and then internalize what I have to share with you now. So we have the first one, the cognitive empathy. Cognitive empathy is the ability to understand how a person is feeling and what they might be thinking. You know, this is you perspective taking on an intellectual level. It's not just you having a perspective, but you are trying to understand what might be going on in their mind. What could they be feeling right now? Assuming 2 people were employed at the same time in your organization, one was given a promotion, the other wasn't given a promotion. Cognitive empathy will tell you that this other person who felt they were employed at the same time is feeling something, right? So empathy, even if you're a HR professional, you might need to call the person and let the person know that, well, this has happened for this person. And I'm sure that you're already working your way up. Soon, just you have to maybe tweak a few things, the way you walk, the way you, and just like advise, stroke, encourage the person. That's cognitive empathy. You're trying to think of what the person will likely be feeling. Now, the next level is emotional empathy. In emotional empathy, you are physically feeling how the other person is feeling. Let's take, for instance, that somebody comes to you and the person just broke down. And the person is trying to tell you that my father I told you has been ill. He eventually passed last night. And this person breaks down with tears everywhere. Emotional empathy is when you begin to cry with a person. This is you feeling with the person. It is not your father that has died, but then you are feeling what the person is feeling. This type of empathy helps us to build emotional connections with others, but it can become very dangerous when we're not able to manage our own distressing emotions. Now, if you are a boss in the office and then your secretary begins to come to your office and begins to cry like that, you really have to be careful, because you crying with the person can take you people to where you don't want to go. You remember that skit here in Nigeria, we say they carry me go where I no want go. So that's the cry, the emotional empathy will not carry you and go to where you don't want to go. Please, if you have heard that, is it a joke or a skit or whatever, just let me know. So that you have to really be careful with the emotional empathy. Okay, I see I busted this laughing. Oh, you are going to teach me how to make this smiley face on my comments too. Mahesh said it's important, but some fake it, and that's terrible. That's really terrible. When people fake it, they know it's not real, it's not coming from their heart. And well, I agree, it's not everybody that can be able to cry with others. Some people are not very easy with tears. So, well, whatever is important is that you be real, okay? Like Mahesh said, don't fake it. Don't fake it at all. If you want to connect with people emotionally, you have to do it on a real basis. And this is something that wicked people use. And that is why who was that was trying to say something at the beginning? Is it Eric or Etim that said to confuse people? Some wicked people use emotional intelligence to manipulate people, and that shouldn't be. It's wrong. It's wrong on every count. You shouldn't, because now you understand what emotional intelligence is all about. You now use it to manipulate people. That's the disadvantage and the dangerous part of it. But that's not what we're teaching here, right? So we're teaching you how you can use it to have profitable relationship with people, how you can use it to manage your colleagues in your workplace, how you can use it to lead effective teams, how you can use it to foster a very positive work environment. That is why we're teaching emotional intelligence today, okay? Now, the next one is compassionate empathy. Compassionate empathy is the type of empathy that goes beyond mere understanding. In this compassionate empathy, you have understood what this person is going through, but then you move to help the person. That's compassionate empathy. It's feeling with someone and taking supportive action if needed and wanted. So you know what this person is going through, and you are willing to take one step forward to help the person, one step forward to stand strong by the person. Maybe somebody came around you and they're struggling with their house rent or stuff like that, and it's okay, I can give you money that can help you to just relieve that burden, just pay me gradually when you can. This is compassionate empathy. Or if you can, you just give the person the money entirely. This is compassionate empathy. I hope all of us were able to catch up on that. Please let me know in the chat room if you were able to understand it. Just say a simple yes if you're able to understand everything I've been trying to share. Because if you notice, I'm just taking it little by little, one step after another, so that you can catch up on it. Yes, thank you, Oluremi. Thank you, Kinsley. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Jumai. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Joab. Thank you, Saeed. Thank you, Modukbe. Thank you, Itoro. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you, Mobulaji. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Adeshina. Thank you, Patience. Thank you, Abosade. All right. I really, really appreciate every one of you, because you are really following well on this class, and I like your interactions. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm learning from you too. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Olumide. All right. Thank you, Pius. Yes, Pius Benjamin said, types of empathy, CEC. Now, I'm sure Pius Benjamin has been in my class before, because we do acronyms, especially for courses that we have to write exams for. So we always do acronyms, and I'm sure Pius Benjamin is catching up on that. Well done, Pius Benjamin. Mary Henshaw, yes, thank you. Bulus, thank you. Chinwogo, thank you. All right, so let's move on to the next one. All right, so I'm going to stop and reshare the slide. All right, so why is empathy so important? What are the benefits? What are the practices? Why is empathy so important? Empathy is important because you are able to see the world as others see it. You know, in this life, there's a way they say it in Nigeria balance, they say life, no balance and stuff like that. Initially, I was not liking that statement too. But then after a while, it started making sense to me. It's just like a pidgin version of saying all fingers are not equal, you know? So you have to calm down and see things from people's perspective. Empathy also helps us to appreciate and be non-judgmental others. Please pardon the typographical errors on this particular slide. It will be corrected. I saw them late. All right, appreciate and be non-judgmental towards others. Reach out to people. People are going through stuff. Sometimes they were not able to manage their emotions well, and they fell into some of these hardships and struggles that they are falling into. Some others, they didn't even have to do anything for them to be where they are. Don't judge a pain you have not felt, because you won't even know how you'll be able to manage it. And some people who seem to like they are doing well, don't look at others, and because you have been blessed, you are well to do, you look at every poor person like they are stupid, like they don't have sense. Let's be non-judgmental. You hardly know what people are going through. Even the people that you feel are well-to-do, they also have their own struggles and their own pains and their own issues. Empathy. Imagine what will happen to our world if only empathy was practiced a little more. Imagine what will happen to our organizations, our companies, our businesses, if we just apply just a little more empathy, reach out to that other person, help that other person, imagine how blessed our world would be. Yesterday, when it was flooding here in Lube, Abuja, lots and lots of people were using their phones to do recordings while others actually went out to help. There was a particular young boy that they had to rescue. The family had run out when they saw the flood gathering up, and then they sent this little boy back to the house to go and pick I think a document or something from the house. And then when the boy went in, the flood had risen up and he was trapped, and then people who were around swung into action, and they went to help the boy out. Imagine if they didn't go to rescue that boy would have drowned just like that. Let's learn to appreciate other people. Let's learn to be a bit non-judgmental. Let's try to understand the feelings of others. Imagine how well your personal relationships with people will go if you can understand their feelings. That's what we're talking about in emotional intelligence. If you understand people's feelings, then you know what to do. You know how to help. You know how to understand them. You know that not every shouting person is a mad person. Sometimes people are shouting because they are burdened with lots of feelings. I grew up in the house where I had my mom do a lot of beating and a lot of shouting in the house. And now as a mother, I have seen myself also shouting. Well, I'm not really strong on the beating part, but I've seen myself shouting, and now it's all making sense to me what my mother had to go through. The pressure is real. The pressure of having to keep a family, grow children, try to make the children turn out well and stuff like that. If only you can tune into other people's feelings, you'd be surprised at how much things will go well. That boss in the office may not be a wicked person. It might just be the experiences that the boss has gone through. That your superior in the office may have been betrayed by so many people, and she's looking at you as somebody who will soon betray him or her. And you have to make sure that while you cannot control how the person feels about a thing, you can also tune into their feeling and give them the assurance that the other subordinate that was a traitor, you are not going to be that type of subordinate, right? So when we understand what people are feeling, then we'll be very highly empathetic, and then we'll be highly emotionally intelligent. So also communicate your understanding. If you finish feeling all this empathy and you cannot say it out, how would they know you are feeling what they are feeling? If you finish feeling all the empathy, and then you cannot do something to alleviate their suffering, to help somebody have a better day. Do you know there are people that all they need from you is maybe a smile, maybe an encouraging word? There is somebody, I'm sure right now in your family, that you have not spoken to in a long time. You're like, oh, they didn't call me. You're busy. Me, I'm busy too. They think they're the only ones that are busy. Sometimes just reach out and say, how are you doing? How are you doing? Somebody was telling me yesterday about his client. His client is a photographer. So he was telling me yesterday about his clients that he had not heard from in a long time. So he felt that she didn't like the job that he did for her the last time, that even the pictures he snapped her, beautiful pictures, she refused to post any one of them, and that maybe she has gotten another photographer. So he was feeling bad about it. So I just asked him, have you called her? Have you called her to know how she's in? So he said, why will I call her? I snap picture, she did not post it. Even the payment, she has not finished paying me. Why am I going to call her? I said, just call her, just ask her, how are you doing? To his greatest surprise, just yesterday, he called and he came to me. I said, what is the problem? Why is your face like this? He said, do I know that that lady he was accusing of just not being him or not wanting his job, that this lady was just diagnosed of cancer? These are the things that we miss out when we don't reach out. We miss out when we don't reach out. People are going through a lot. I'm sure that even you have things that you're also struggling with, things that make you cry at night, you know. So if you know that you have your own, understand that other people have their own, and let's just try to understand and communicate the feelings that we have. Is anybody understanding empathy a little bit more? Are you understanding empathy a little bit more? Please let me know in the chat room, because the essence of this class is not just for me to just come and do talk and go. You need to really get something at the end of it. Hope you understand empathy a little bit more. All right. So yes, I'm seeing your comments. Thank you so much for always responding. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everyone in this class. Yes, it's been a great experience. Thank you, even for me, getting the vibes. All right, I feel you. Okay, so let's move on. Let's talk about social awareness. You know, everything we've been talking about is empathy. Social awareness is you being able to be empathetic. Okay, so empathy is a part of social awareness. Social awareness generally is the ability to understand people from their perspectives and empathize with what they feel. Likewise, it is a skill that recognizes, appreciates, and respects diverse backgrounds and differences. People behave in different ways. I remember I taught a class sometime. I think that class was under human resource management on diversity. You know, different cultures do different things. Something that I think is a joke in your own culture might be an insult in another culture. This is why social awareness is important. When you go to, a common saying says, when you go to Rome, behave like the Romans, right? The essence of all of those is social awareness. When you go to a place, understand what they do and how they do. What you might think is a joke here in our country might not be a joke in their own country, you know, and you might be insulting somebody by just doing that. So social awareness is about perspective taking. Take another person's perspective. Social awareness is about empathy. Feel what others are feeling. Social awareness is about appreciating diversity. We are all different. Let the introvert stop telling the extrovert that she is too noisy. Let the extrovert stop telling the introvert that he's too quiet and moody. You know, we need to have respect for others. That is social awareness. We are created differently. We can all improve on how we are created, but then we should understand that we are different, you know, because if you are able to be socially aware, some of the benefits include: number one, you'll be able to build strong relationship with your peers. Number two, you'll be able to create a positive climate that recognizes diversity. Number three, you'll be able to promote compassion and empathy towards other people. Number four, you'll be able to improve social and emotional well-being. Then number five, you'll be able to help understand each other's strengths and limitations. And there are lots and lots more of social awareness. Imagine if you can only be socially aware or empathetic towards your destiny helper. Do you know how much your life will improve? Do you know how much of many opportunities that have been gotten because somebody just chose to care about somebody else? It's amazing. Somebody said no sound. Please, if you can hear me, type 1-1. If you can hear me, let me be sure that it's not from my end. All right, so, okay, so everyone is hearing me loud and clear. So please, Elkanah, try to work on your sound. It might be your network from your area, okay? Yes, okay. Thank you so much, wonderful people. I'm glad everyone can hear me. So it's time for us to move on to the next slide. So whenever I stop to read the comments, I have to reshare my screen, but it's all okay. All right, so let's talk about the benefits of empathy and social awareness to your organization. Remember, we're a professional body. While we also try to relate these things to your everyday life, we are also very mindful about how to ensure that employees, business executives are experiencing high performance. All right, high performance. We want you to be very, very high performing and highly productive within your organization. So I'm going to be sharing the benefits of empathy and social awareness to your organization. I believe that you already understand what everything I've been talking about on empathy and social awareness. Now we need to know that empathy as a key interpersonal skill offers numerous benefits to organizations. Here are some of the significant benefits of empathy in the organizational context. The first one we have is the enhanced collaboration and teamwork. Empathy promotes a supportive, cooperative work environment by fostering understanding and respect among team members. Empathy also encourages open communication, active listening, and the ability to appreciate diverse perspectives. This in turn enhances collaboration, teamwork, and overall effectiveness of the organization. Let's talk about another benefit of empathy: improved employee engagement and satisfaction. When employees feel understood and they feel valued, wow, they are more likely to be engaged and more satisfied with their work. Empathy helps create a positive organizational culture where employees feel supported, appreciated, and cared for. This contributes to higher levels of motivation, productivity, and loyalty. If you are in an organization, you know that this is real, right? Then the next one, empathy also, another benefit of empathy is effective leadership and management. Empathetic leaders have a better understanding of their team members' emotions. They know when their moods are high and when their moods are low. They understand their needs and challenges. They are skilled at providing guidance, support, and recognition. Sometimes everything is all about remuneration or increasing money. There are people that live places where they are paid high simply because in those places there is no guidance, there is no support, there is no recognition. And because of that, they can't give their trust and loyalty equally. So empathetic leaders excel at resolving conflicts. They manage difficult situations, they promote, and thereby they promote a positive work environment. Empathy will also improve customer service and client relationship. Empathy plays a crucial role in customer service and client relationship. When employees demonstrate empathy towards customers and clients, they can better understand their needs, concerns, and emotions. This enables them to provide personalized and tailored solutions, leading to improved customer satisfaction, loyalty, and positive word of mouth. Another benefit of empathy and social awareness to your organization is that of innovation and creativity. You know, empathy helps organizations to tap into diverse perspectives, experiences, ideas. In fact, when employees are empathetic, they can better understand the needs and preferences of customers and clients, and this will lead to innovative products. Most of the innovative products you see are because somebody listened. Like I said earlier, empathy and social awareness, you can't go wrong with what? Two, LO, listening and observation. If you do this, you'll be able to create innovative products, services, and solutions. How many of you remember when Coca-Cola decided to start labeling, putting people's names on their bottles? Do you know how much of the market they sold then? Because it was amazing. Always Pad also tapped into that. You know, they went to the point and they started doing like a girl awareness. And this was just trying to help to break stereotypes against the girl child, you know. And these are the things that if people, who has noticed, I need somebody to tell me what is currently happening between Airtel and MTN. I'm not going to say this first. I'm going to allow somebody to tell me. Somebody should tell me. Tell me in the chat room what has been happening between MTN and Airtel. It's been wonderful. In fact, it's been mind-blowing. Who has seen what is happening between them? And tell me in the chat room. My ears and eyes are open. My ears and eyes are open. The prices of 5G. Yes, Pius Benjamin, thank you. The price of 5G, but then they are doing something. Did you see? Mobolaji said it in a very wonderful way. He said romance, serious romance. I'm telling you, it's serious romance. If you have been up and attentive on social media, you will see the romance between MTN and Airtel, and it's been amazing. Yes, Bulus Audu said networking. That is to put it in a very professional way. Yes, that is networking. You see, and it's wonderful. Their advertising system changed. Thank you, Kinsley. Collabo, Mehenshaw, thank you so much. And Najim Lasisi, I see you. He said, King rivalry. You know, I'm sure it is, they just employed emotionally intelligent marketers, and they took the whole thing, the whole game to the next level. You see Airtel welcoming MTN into 5G, and 5G welcoming MTN. You know, it's been wonderful. And these are innovations and creativity, you know, making it look like we're not fighting, you know, we've started this, and come up and join us. There is room for everybody, and it's been wonderful. These are the things that happen when people are a little bit socially aware. You know, another benefit of empathy and social awareness is conflict resolution and workplace harmony. Empathy facilitates effective conflict resolution by enabling individuals to understand and empathize with the emotions and perspective of others involved in the conflict. This leads to more constructive and collaborative problem solving, fostering harmony and positive relationships within the organization. And that one is organizational reputation and brand image. Organizations that prioritize empathy are often perceived as caring, ethical, and socially responsible. This positively impacts their reputation and brand image, attracting talented individuals, customers, and even strategic partnership. All right, so let's go on to the next slide. I'm really glad about the way everyone is following in this class, and you're telling me by that you are very socially aware. Let's talk about the steps to cultivating empathy and building strong relationships in organizations. You know, these are the strategies that will help you as a team member, that will help you as a leader, that will help you as a subordinate within your organization. Number one is active listening. You know, you have to practice active listening by giving full attention to your team members. You need to seek ways to understand their perspectives and also acknowledge their feelings and their concern. The second one is empathy training. Provide training and workshops focused on empathy, emotional intelligence, and interpersonal communication skills to enhance team members' ability to understand and connect with others. Some of you here belong to big organizations. What you are learning today, you know that if this thing is applied to your organization, that your organization will change. You know that if this emotional intelligence we're talking about, if it's applied to your company, that it will favor you, it will create a positive environment for you to work in. Then talk to your bosses. Tell them there is this training institute that offers training. We can come to your organization, and then we'll train all members of your staff. We can train even whether it is at the senior level or at the middle level. We can train your leaders so that it cascades down to the rest of the organization. So it's something that is wonderful. And then beyond just the training, you are also trained and are also certified in it, and it will be very, very helpful for your organization. Now, it's also another step to cultivating empathy and building strong relationships in organizations is that you have to foster open communication. Encourage open and honest communication within your team. Create a safe space for your team members to express their thoughts, opinions, and emotions without judgment. Don't make them see you as one judgmental person. You know, another way is to appreciate and recognize them. Show genuine appreciation and recognition for your team members' contributions and achievements. Okay, if the team is failing, take the responsibility. If the team is succeeding, share the responsibility. Should I say this again? If the team is failing, do what? take the responsibility. If the team is succeeding, share the responsibility. Can you help me type that in the chat room so that I'm sure you heard me? Can you help me type it in the chat room so that I'm sure you heard me? If the team is failing, take the responsibility as the leader. If the team is succeeding, share the responsibility, all right? So acknowledge the efforts of your team members so that they know that their work is valued. Another one is team building activities. Engage in team building activities. Organize team building activities and exercises that promote collaboration. Trust and understanding among your team members. Do you know some of these activities can include what Mehenshaw already told us? Icebreakers, group projects, team bonding exercises, even games, group games, football, paintball games, whatever you can do to create team building activities. Just go ahead and create a bond between your team. Another one is flexibility and understanding. Be flexible and show understanding towards your team members. Whether it is their personal or professional circumstances, allow work-life balance and accommodate individual needs as much as possible. Okay, another way is to encourage empathy within the team. Emphasize the importance of empathy within the team culture. Encourage team members to actively practice empathy and support one another in developing their empathetic skills. If somebody has the function, everybody should just gather, show up for the person. Another way to also increase this empathy we're talking about is conflict resolution. Provide training and resources on effective conflict resolution strategies. Help team members to navigate conflicts by promoting open dialogue, active listening, and finding win-win solutions. And finally, on this, lead by example. Leaders and managers that lead by example, they demonstrate empathy by building strong relationship with their team members. As a leader, show empathy, actively listen, respond with understanding and compassion. If you implement all of these strategies we have shared with you today, I am sure that your organization will create a culture of empathy and build strong relationships within the team. All right, so let's talk about something else that is very, very important: conflict resolution techniques. You may have heard us say time and time again about how emotional intelligence, social awareness helps you to resolve conflicts. We are going to show you right now a conflict resolution technique. This technique was created by Thomas Kilmann. This is called the Thomas Kilmann conflict model. Please take a look at your screen. Take a look at your screen right now. You would notice on the screen that at the top left end of the chart, we have the high assertiveness. Can you see it? Then, and the low cooperation down, right? So if you look at it, by the left, there's high assertiveness. Under it, we have cooperativeness level. So which means that we can choose to use the competing strategy as a conflict resolution strategy. Thomas and Kilmann's conflict model is a powerful way of looking at conflict management. Conflicts are painful for individuals, and it is also difficult for organizations. It is an important test of managerial skills. Different people respond to conflict differently. So it depends. This is the Thomas Kilmann. Two people came together and they created this model for conflict resolution. So you can either choose competing or collaborating, avoiding or accommodating, or somewhere in between, compromise, where nobody gets exactly what they want, but then you guys eventually agree. Now, on the competing, it is you against them. And the avoiding, it is, in fact, you need to understand that all of these strategies, you will look at competing as a very bad thing, but there are times when you have to use the competing strategy of conflict resolution because you may want to take a very quick decision, all right? The strategy may be more appropriate when we need speedy resolution. There is no time and you need to do something, and we are a high, and even when you're in a higher position of power, you want to take use of this and you want to make the very tough call, all right? So you have to compete in order to get what you want. But some other times, it is a very passive way to also avoid. Like, I don't want trouble, nobody really wants trouble in this life, but there are times that some confrontations are best avoided. Okay, you see that person that's always giving trouble in the office, you just avoid them, just stay away from their side. Some people are comfortable doing that while others are not comfortable, but that's why we have different strategies, and you have to figure out which strategy is okay for me at this time, which strategy is best at this time. All right. Thank you, everyone who has been commenting on. If the team is failing, take responsibility, and if the team is succeeding, share the responsibility. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So back to what we're saying. A time will come when you also need to use the approach of accommodating. Okay. Now, accommodating can be, it's a time when you decide to take what the other person is saying. It's like the exact opposite of avoiding. Sometimes you want to avoid a situation, other times you just want to allow so that the other party can be happy. This is more like sacrificing your own stance so the other party can be happy. And in collaborating, we use the collaborative mode of conflict resolution when we are on the same page as the opposing party. Both of us want the same thing. Okay, what we want is the same, so there is no need for us to keep fighting. So what do? We collaborate to bring our resources together. Is an ideal situation. It happens when both parties are sensible, when they have similar authority, when they are ready to be cooperative with each other. All right. The compromising. This is like the final point in the Thomas Kalman conflict resolution. This point is the point where each conflicting party gets something they want, not everything they want, all right? But they also give up something that they wanted. So it is a mixed win for all right? In competing, you are the only one winning. They are not winning. In avoiding, they are not winning, you are not winning. In collaborating, both of you are winning. It's a win-win situation. In accommodating, they are winning, you are not winning. You're the one sacrificing. But in compromise, both of you got something and both of you lost something. Do we understand this level of conflict management? If we had more time, we would have done a little practice.
Hello, Ma. Your microphone is muted.
Yes, I asked everybody to just take a minute. Let's stretch, and we'll be back in just 1 minute.
Okay.
All right, welcome back to class. I hope you were able to stretch. You know, stretching is good for our health. All right, so I hope everybody was able to understand the Thomas Kilmann conflict model we're able to share. So it's just a way of resolving conflict, and I hope you were able to get that. So we have the competing, the collaborating, avoiding, accommodating, and compromise. So when we are competing, it is high assertiveness and low cooperativeness. When we are collaborating, it is high assertiveness, it is high cooperativeness. When we are avoiding, it is low assertiveness, it is low cooperativeness. When we are compromising, we're just in between, all right? So that's how it is for the Thomas Kilmann conflict model. All right, so let's take a look at the next slide. Strategies to fostering positive work environment. So there are, if we want a positive work environment, there are different strategies we can take. Number one, we can encourage open communication. We can promote work-life balance. We can do more of recognition and appreciation. We have mentioned all of these things. We can foster collaboration and teamwork. We should have professional development and growth. We should create a safe and inclusive environment. We should promote workplace wellness, establish clear expectations and goals, and encourage innovation and creativity. And most importantly, we should lead by example. Now, let's talk about perspective taking. You know, we said that social awareness involves perspective taking. So what do we mean when we say perspective taking? What do we mean when we say perspective taking? We mean that perspective taking refers to the cognitive and emotional process of understanding and considering the viewpoints, thoughts, and feelings of others. It involves mentally stepping into someone else's shoes and imagining their experiences and their perspectives. We have said this already. Do well with perspective taking. Number one, you have to understand other people's viewpoints. We have said this before. You have somebody who is in your organization. Okay, let me use myself as an example. As a leader of many leaders, I have had situations whereby we're in an executive meeting, and then especially these younger people, you know, sometimes they don't know how to pass across their ideas without looking haughty or arrogant and stuff like that. But in recent times, I have applied lots of emotional intelligence so that I can listen to them and know what they have to say. So I can really understand things from their own perspective, you know. I remember a particular situation whereby a lady, she made it look like all of us didn't know what we were doing. Well, she had a point, but then the way she was going about it, you know, with that low level of emotional intelligence. And if you're a young person and you're in this classroom, online classroom, please know that sometimes it's not that your bosses hate you. It's not that they don't want to listen to you. It's not that your ideas are not bright enough. It is how you are passing on the ideas. Is anybody feeling me? Is anybody understanding me? Please be responding in the comment section so I know. It's because sometimes it's not because they don't want to listen to you. It's not because that they're old school. It's not because they are jealous of you. It's simply because you don't know how to pass across that intelligent idea of yours. So this particular young person, she was in the meeting and she was just challenging us and stuff like that, like the way we're doing the things that we need to change, that the world is changing and stuff like that. But eventually I calmed down and I listened to her. And what she was saying was making lots and lots of sense. We were able to apply it, and things worked out. The particular problem we are trying to solve worked out. But then it's important that while we are trying to take the perspective of others also need to, everybody needs to also know how to apply emotional intelligence, even in communicating your ideas, all right? So a key point in perspective taking is that you have to understand other people's viewpoints. Step into someone else's shoes, all right? That lady in question, she was acting like, why are you guys not seeing what I'm seeing? You know, that was what was making her feel agitated and almost aggressive when she was trying to pass across her point. But if we are highly emotionally intelligent, we don't need to shout to be heard, right? We don't need to stress to be heard. We don't need to be aggressive to be heard. All right. Assertiveness is not aggressiveness. Aggressiveness is not assertiveness. Both of them might sound similar, but they're not the same thing. So you should learn how to communicate your points with assertiveness, but not with aggressiveness. All right. Also consider different perspectives, break down assumptions, improve communications. Conflict resolution is essential. Build relationships and collaboration. It's just about the same thing we've been saying over and over again, all right? Cultural sensitivity and inclusion. Personal growth and learning is essential for us to be able to take on people's perspective. And then we should grow in leadership and influence. And this will also help us to be able to take perspectives from others. Also, there are more strategies to enhance your perspective taking abilities. Number one, recognize bias and assumptions. One thing I don't like is stereotypes, when you have to stereotype everybody's the same. Because she's female, she must be like that. Because he's male, he must be like that. No, recognize bias and assumptions and remove them so that you can clearly and actively listen to the person who is talking to you. All right. Have empathetic imagination. Imagine yourself in the shoes of this person telling you about how they were thrown out of their house. All right. Seek diverse experiences. Ask others, what does it look like with this fuel increase? All right. You have people that are working with you. How is it with them? Their expenses increased, their usable income minimized. Things are not the same. There's a fuel hike. Things in the market are also increasing. How are they feeding? How is that your loyal subordinate able to make it to work every day? Practice empathetic communication. Tell them, how is it? Develop the habit of asking your subordinates, have you eaten today? Are you okay? I know it's not your responsibility, but it won't take anything away from you. All right? Have cultural sensitivity, reflect on your own perspective. Sometimes you're not always right. Sometimes listen to the next person. They will have ideas that you may never, ever have. So learn to also seek feedback, practice empathy in your daily interactions, and continue learning. This is very, very key. So this is very, very key. These are things that you need to practice in order to be able to really be a self-aware person, in order to be somebody who we can say is empathetic, in order to be somebody who has high-level emotional intelligence. And in a short while, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back by exactly 12, which means there is no need for you to leave this meeting. So all you just have to do is just to keep your microphone mute, just stretch, drink water, take tea, or whatever you like to take on Saturday morning. And we'll be back by 12 on the dot so that we can take the last class, after which we'll now have all your questions. So all those people who wanted to raise their hands, when we come back, that will be the time for you to raise your hands, ask your questions, and whatever and also share your reflections, all right? Your observations, your comments on what we have done in the class so far. By the time we return to this class, we'll be taking the next module on relationship management. We've just done social awareness. We're going to do relationship management. If you were very observant, you notice that Dr. Benito handled social awareness and social management yesterday. So today, we're going to be looking at both social awareness and relationship management. With that, we'll be able to handle the competencies of emotional intelligence. Please, now will be the time for announcements. I'm going to be handing over to Dr. Benito, after which by 12 on the dot, our class begins. So please don't leave this class. Be around. Let's do this together. All right? Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ifeoma. The class had been quite insightful, and it has been overwhelming. It has been transformative. And if anyone agrees with me that the class had been so wonderful since 10:30 a.m., please, can you say thank you in the chat room, a big thank you in the chat room? If the class had actually touched you, you've learned something, we need a very big thank you in the chat room. For me, it had been awesome. At least I've been here from the beginning of the section till now. It has been awesome, awesome, awesome. So thank you so much, Dr. Ifeoma, and we expect to have another wonderful round in the rounding up section with relationship management. My advice to you is that you don't go anywhere. So just be sure that you take all through. This is a training that could be costing you about 150,000 naira or about $500 to access, but we are making it free. So let us make sure that we are making the most of the sections, all right? Thank you. So for the sake of those that joined us a little bit later, let me quickly run through this announcement again. I believe you could see my screen. So you're welcome to the Integrated Institute of Professional Management. Our assignment here is to build, integrate, and reposition capacities for sustainable growth and development. For the purpose of certification, please, when the attendance is passed and the attendance is coming in the next section, towards the end of the next section. So please ensure to fill your details accordingly, especially your name, the way you want it to be on the certificate. If you've not joined the WhatsApp groups, please ensure to join the WhatsApp group. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the Integrated Institute of Professional Management, IPM. We are a world-class training and certification body, legally registered in Nigeria and also approved by the Federal Ministry of Education. We are accredited by the Nigerian Council for Management Development and internationally chartered by the Chartered Institute of Management Consultants, USA, and Society for Human Resource Management, USA. Okay. For our professional certification programs, all the programs you're taking in IPM, be rest assured that they have both the international reputation and accreditation that follows suit, because all of our programs are accredited by globally recognized institutions. And then by flexibility and convenience, you can always take our trainings from anywhere you are in the world. We'll have our e-learning platform at elearning.iipmi.org, where you can always open your account, free account, and then have all these programs in your own comfort and convenience. All certificates are recognized widely across the industries and also across the globe. We have experienced faculty members. Of course, you've tested another version today, and you could attest to that. We have, in each of our programs, we always target industry relevant skills, and there are opportunities for networking, and we also have membership opportunities. So you can become a member of IPM if you want to keep having the best of this kind of learning. For the modes of delivery, our professional programs at the present time have been broken down into modules to allow for ease of participation, facilitation, and application. So everyone intending to become a certified emotional intelligence professional, you need to complete all the modules. We have 12 modules in this course. However, the 12 modules have been subdivided into 4, they've been grouped into 4 major modules. So it's expected that you attend all 4 modules before you could request for certification in CIP. And then participants are allowed to attend the classes for free, but payments are to be made per module. That if you want to get the certificate, you make your payments per module. However, like someone asked in the morning, can he make all his payment upfront? Yes, if you intend to make your payments all front, you are welcome. Importantly, to access study materials, participants will be expected to make payments for the module in section. So to access any material, you pay for that particular material, you pay for that particular section. You pay for the certificate for you to be able to access the materials. And all the materials, all the certificates will be available at the student's dashboard. So in case you've not opened your account, you are encouraged to do so by going to elearning.iipmi.org and going for student registration. Certificate of completion will be issued per module, and each module duration will range from 6 to 9 hours. Certificate category. For every module you complete, you have what we call certificate of completion. For completing all modules in a course, you have the certified and sealed professional certification. And when you have attended an IPM induction, membership induction, you'll be entitled to your professional membership certificate. Now, if you're interested in going for the certificate, as we've said, module by module, if you are a member of IPM and you're taking a module per time, you're taking a course per time, you'll be expected to pay 7,500 Naira or $15 for non-Nigerians for taking a single module in a single course. For instance, if you're taking emotional intelligence program, per module as a member is expected to be 7,500. Now, if you want to calculate all 7,500 for the 4 modules and pay them upfront, you are welcome. And for non-members, you have 10,000 Naira or $20. If you're taking 2 programs at a time, you're taking emotional intelligence and you're taking another course, maybe human resource management, then you will be paying for the 2 modules that you're taking in the 2 courses, you'll be paying 13,500 or $25. And for non-members, you pay 18,000 or $35. And then if you're taking a 3-fold program, you have 12,500 and 17,000 respectively. Payment grants you access to the module materials on your student dashboard, including your video classes. So you have certificate of completion per module and priority support given to you. All payments are to be directed to the account displayed on the screen. So you can make payments to what you see on the screen. And if you're not in Nigeria and you wish to make payment online, or you're actually encouraged to make payment online. So you go to iipmi.org/apply. All proofs of payment should be sent to finance@iipmi.org. Okay, so I will bring information about membership. Was the last class. Now, please, there's something I would like to remind us of here. All of our programs in IPM are project-based. So for each program we conclude on it, and then we move on to the next one. Now, what this means is, for this particular module that we are getting done with, if you're interested in the certification, you have between now and Wednesday next week to make your payment, and then all certificates will be available by Friday. Now, if after the program you come back to ask us for certificate, we won't be able to process that because that project is considered closed. Because we've seen situations where people will take programs, maybe after 2 or 3 years, they come back to ask us for certificate. They want to complete their payment, and sorry, we don't have such provisions in IPM to store certificates or the likes. We don't. So if you're interested in the certificate, you are expected to go ahead and make your payments, and that's why we've empathetically broken down all programs to modules so that it will allow for ease of payment and ease of participation. All right. Okay, so thank you so much. Our HR class will start by 2 p.m. today. So in case you're part of the class, also prepare yourself. Thank you so much. I'll be handing you back to the facilitator. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Banito, and welcome back to class, everyone. At this moment, we'll be looking at the 3rd module, the module called Relationship Management. All right, so that's what we'll be looking at, and I hope everyone is ready for it. I'm glad you are all still here. So let me quickly share my slide as we begin. If you remember from my introduction, all right, let me get, okay. All right, if you remember from my introduction, I let us know that relationship management is a product of having self-awareness, self-management, social awareness. And when you have all of this, then you'll be able to have proper relationship management. So everybody desires to have quality relationships. In fact, I have been saying for the past few years that the new oil well is relationship. Relationship will do for you what even your money cannot do for you. I don't know about anybody, but that is what I firmly believe. And if you believe the same thing, whether you believe it or not, or whether you agree with me or not, please let me know in the chat room. As you get older, what you begin to value is relationships. It's not about money. It's not about getting that contact and getting that connection. As you get older, you begin to see that what truly matters is who are you in a relationship with? Who do you know? Who can go all out for you? Who can mention your name in rooms that matter? Who can stand for you and say, I know this person, and this person deserves a seat at the table? If you are very young, believe me, you may not understand what I'm trying to say. But as you get older, you will know that everything is no longer about the money. It's about relationships. I call relationships the new oil well, because that is what it is. Yes, thank you, Modupe said agreed. Thank you, Oluremi said agreed. Thank you, Abiodun. Thank you, Joanne Arabs. Thank you, Frank 18. Frank 18 says it all depends. Please, we want to hear your perspective on this matter. Please expand in the chat room, okay? Yes, expand in the chat room. Rejoice King Akinsule said, very true. I see my mom suddenly becoming relational. That's true. That's really true. Mehensha said, true, the connection you have matters a lot. I'm telling you, it takes just one person to mention your name in a place that matters, in a platform that is relevant. And all of a sudden, that little business you have been doing in the corner becomes a global phenomenon. Relationships matter. All this, I don't need anybody. I can do it all by myself. I am a one-man machine squad and stuff like that. It's something you say when you're very young. It won't be long. You will understand what others understood. Yes, Benjamin Pashe said, whom you know, that's all that matters. Honestly, relationship is better than money because relationship will give you the money that you need. Yes, Jumai Risky said, true, networking is key in life. Honestly, Hassan Fatima said, yes, it really matters. And that's true. Frank Etim said, some relationships are symbiotic and others are parasitic. I absolutely agree with you, Frank Etim. I absolutely agree with you. Blessed are you when you have more symbiotic relationships than parasitic relationships. How many of you know that my first, the course I studied, my first degree in the university was parasitology and entomology. So I studied 4 years, just 4 years on parasites and different kinds of parasites. So blessed are you when you have more symbiotic relationships than parasitic relationships. Yes, Kensley Okani, Savannah said, life is all about relationship with others. So what we're teaching transcends the workplace. It transcends your office. It transcends having a good job, having promotion. And it is integrated. It can be integrated into every aspect of your life. So that's why let's talk about relationship management as a module under emotional intelligence. And I know we're going to gain more insights that will help both our private and professional lives. All right? In this session, we'll be looking at building and maintaining positive relationships. We'll be looking at effective communication and active listening. We'll be looking at conflict resolution and negotiation skills. We'll be looking at collaboration and teamwork. And with that, we'll be wrapping up on this particular module. All right? By way of introduction, I'd like to tell you that relationship management refers to the skills and strategies used to build, maintain, enhance relationships with individuals, teams, clients, and stakeholders. Relationship management is a vital skill that requires continuous effort, empathy, and effective communication. By investing in building positive relationships, individuals and organizations can create a supportive and collaborative environment that drives success. Recently, I like sharing personal stories because I feel that's how I connect usually with my audience. And recently, there's this tailor of mine, um, she is a fantastic fashion designer. You know that kind of person that you can give any kind of clothes, any quality of clothes, and then you can comfortably go to sleep, and then you are sure that when it comes out fantastic. But then I happen to have this particular fashion designer. She's that fantastic, error-free. But then her relationship management sucks. You know, she does not have a good, she can, okay, oh, you come, drop it there. There's no quality relationship, because even if you're saying, oh, this class is not for me, this is about organization, but you have a business you're running, and you're not able to relate with those people well. You're not able to check on them. You're not able to be nice to them. Then it becomes a problem. Relationship management is a vital skill. It's a skill everybody ought to have. It doesn't fall on you like a ripe cherry. It is something you have to develop from deep within you. Because when you develop it, your clients even will be satisfied. They will have your loyalty for the long term. So this lady, a time came when I felt this lady just insulting my personality. So even while I know that she will make nice clothes, I knew that the other people that will make nice clothes, but I also knew that those other people will not make clothes as nice as she would make. But I was like, for the sake of my ego, you know, every one of us have one small ego inside us, so that's the truth. For the sake of my ego, I just said, okay, I'm not going to give this lady my clothes. I'm just going to give it to this other one who has some respect for my person and for who I am. Do you know how many businesses she may have missed by just not working on her relationship management skills? It happens to every one of us. It happens to every one of us. I told you I'm an author. I have my name as an author on over 60 books, and I can tell you, there is this publisher I've used for a long time. The books come out very qualitative and excellent. And in fact, the books can travel to anywhere. It can meet any standard in the world, any country. It can be in the hand of any world leader. And I'll be comfortable and proud that this is my book, based on the quality of production. But then this particular publisher will always do my work last minute. So maybe on launch day of my book, I am just looking out, making calls, sweating, waiting for my books to land. It was bad for business. It was bad for me. So over time, I discovered one young person who was not very experienced. But I noticed that if I can call him to attention, if I can call his attention to a few things, he will be able to listen to me and do the needful. So that was how I stopped working with a very powerful publisher. And I saw this new publisher and I said, come, you have a listening ear, you have a teachable spirit. And if I tell you what to do, I believe you'll be able to do it. And my last few books, he has been the one producing them. Relationship management. As I tell this my stories, I'm sure you can relate my story to, you have similar stories in your life. Things that have happened. People who should have had more businesses with you, but did not manage the relationship well. And this is what we're teaching you, because it will not only help you in your office, it will not only help you in your organization, it will not only help you in your company, it will help you even in your family life, even in your relationship with other people. So what's the importance of relationship management. Why are we talking about relationship management? Yes, Elkanah Okine said mutual relationship is lovely and healthy. True, true. Taiwo Olatunde said no one can succeed alone. That's absolutely true. Said said very true. That's true. That's true. Relationship management is key. You see, why are we teaching you relationship management? Because strong relationships foster trust, collaboration, even in business, and mutual support. Effective relationship management leads to improved teamwork, productivity, and overall success. Positive relationships contribute to client satisfaction, loyalty, and long-term partnership. This is what we've been talking about. This is all we've been talking about. How it is important, how it can help your life, your business, your career. It's everything. Do you know that some people in offices, in companies, are not just promoted on the basis that they are intellectual, on the basis that they are smart, on the basis that they know the technique, they have technical know-how to do the job that is required in that company. Some of them are just promoted on the basis of the relationship they have with the boss. And you can whine and complain about it. You can go to everybody you know, complain about it. Does not change a thing. Every day, people will keep being employed, people will keep being promoted on the basis that they know somebody. And that is what we're talking about, relationship. A tree cannot make a forest. We were not created to be in isolation, but in association. Can somebody help me type that in the comment section? We were not created to be in isolation, but in association. Type it in the comment section, because as you type it, it sticks to your mind. No matter what you do, have good relationships. All these small thing quarrel, they hate me. All of them don't like me. Everybody in this office, they are jealous of me. Listen to me, something is wrong with you. When you're the one having problem with everybody, at the same time, you need to go and sit back and check yourself very well. Because nobody do you. Hey, nobody do you. They are jealous of me. All of them. There's one person I know. This person has jumped from one job to another. In the past 6 months, she has had 8 jobs. And I'm asking her, what is the matter? Because she will create a very first impression and you will then hire her. Then when you hire her, she'll start having problem with everybody. And then she'll say, no, it's not me. It's not me, it's them. I have this thing. Wherever I go to, people just start jealousing me. They'll start jealousing me. They'll start hating me. And you're not Queen Elizabeth. There is need for you to have good and proper relationships, because building and maintaining positive relationships will help establish rapport and trust through open and honest communication. It will help you to show respect. It will help you to show empathy. It will help you to show understanding towards others. It will even nurture relationships because you are reliable, you are responsive, and you are supportive. Yes, I see. Oh, I see the comment section. We are created for relationship. Yes, we are not created to be in isolation. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Juan. Thank you, Modupe, Said, Jumai, Hassan, Rejoice, Ayosase, Oluremi, Elkanah. Thank you, everybody. We are not created to be in isolation. We are created to be in relationships. If you want to really build up in your career, you want to be promoted, you want to even have rich, steady, loyal buying customers, you need to learn how to build and maintain positive relationships, because it is key. It is key. And how do you build and maintain positive relationships? Number one, I'll share with you, I'd like you to engage in effective communication and active listening. Effective communication, active listening. Effective communication, active listening. Learn to listen. Our world is so noisy that we don't listen anymore. Listen. Look for feedback. I know you are powerful. I know you are great. But sometimes ask the question, who am I? Who do people say that I am? What do people think of our business? What are people saying about our company? Do they see our organization as an organization that cares for people? Do they see our organization as a 21st century slave trading organization? Do they see our company as a place where people come and they suffer as slaves? Ask questions and listen when you ask. Clear and concise communication promotes understanding and prevents misunderstanding. Most of the misunderstandings we've had with people that should be in our lives, people that we should be working with, are things that we missed because we did not listen. Active listening to others to demonstrate respect and gain insights into their perspectives. Tailor communication styles to different individuals and adapt to diverse situations. This is something that most of us have to do. You know, we assume that everybody listens the same way. Everybody understands the same way. Have you met a melancholy before? A melancholy will read meaning into something that you are not saying. Frank Keating said, naturally, we are created in isolation, but must be open to association. However, some of us are introverts. The fact that you're introverts, yes, I hear you, Frank 18. The fact that we're introverts does not mean we should not also have people we're in a relationship with. The fact that you love to be alone does not mean you should always be alone. There is always somebody you can confide in. There is always a way to relate well with others. When I talk about relating well with others, I'm not saying all of us should become extroverts. I'm not saying all of us should become sanguines and be noisy and shouty and jumpy and everything. No. I simply mean that if anybody gets to have a taste of you, if anybody gets to have an encounter, a minute with you, may they live that 1 minute thinking about how nice you are to them. Do you know that people will forget what you said, but will never forget how you made them feel? It's so important, even as an introvert. If you get to meet people, relate well with them. A smile can go a long way. A piece of advice, a word of admiration, a word of appreciation. These are things that you need. You don't need to be an extrovert to have these essential communication skills. So what I was talking about was tailoring communication styles to different individuals. We are not all the same. When you are a leader, you have to know that everybody in your team will not hear you the same way. They will not understand you the same way. Everybody will not even relate with you the same way. We are all different. So which means that when you communicate, try to communicate differently to different people, which means that if you have an opportunity to have an audience of one with some of your team members, talk to them in the language they will understand. Talk to them in the way that you'll be able to connect with them. That's all we're trying to say. Categorizing everybody into one will never work, because there are people that you need to break things down for. There are some melancholies and introverts that if you say one thing and you don't break it down well, they will misunderstand you because they are deep thinkers. So that's what we're trying to say. Now, another way for you to manage relationship well is that you need to develop your conflict resolution and negotiation skills, whether we like it or not, whether we want it or not. Conflict will always exist around us. Anywhere you find human beings, there will be conflict. So conflict is a natural part of our relationships. So what do you do when you see conflict? Learn to address conflicts constructively, not emotionally. Learn to address conflicts constructively, not emotionally. There are problems you will see. Just calm down. Take a minute. Take a minute. Don't jump into it already. take a minute and then find out, how did this happen? Who was responsible for this thing that went wrong? How can it be solved? This is how you solve. This is how you address conflicts constructively. Develop problem-solving skills to find mutually beneficial solutions. We shared the Thomas Kilmann conflict resolution model with you in the last module, right? And I hope you did not miss it. So find out. Competing is not always the way, but there are times you have to compete. Competing, collaboration, is it avoiding, or is it accommodating, or is it compromise? These are different conflict resolution skills. You should be able to develop your skills so that when the problem presents itself, you already know what to do. You know how to solve the problem. You know what to do. And this is essential. Use effective negotiation techniques to reach agreements and manage disagreements. We shared this with you in the last module. So conflict resolution refers to the process of addressing and resolving conflicts or disagreements in a constructive and mutually satisfactory manner. Effective conflict resolution promotes understanding, preserves relationships, and leads to better outcomes. Always, always. When you are able to manage conflict, it looks like everybody is at peace. It looks like everywhere is calm, because that's how it works. So let's talk about the key strategies in conflict resolution. Number one, you want to be good at resolving conflict. Number one, make sure that you identify and acknowledge the conflict. Don't say, no, in our company is peace. In fact, our company is air peace. So there is peace everywhere. Don't do that. Identify what the conflict is. Acknowledge that we have a misunderstanding. We have a conflict in this area. And after acknowledging and identifying it, the next thing you have to do is to listen attentively and sympathetically to all the parties involved. Please don't listen to one side and leave out the other side. Many of us make this mistake a lot. So we assume that this person must have been at fault. That person must have been at fault. No, it is not this person's fault. No, I know this is my guy, I've been with this person in this office for a very long time. No, they are not the ones doing this. Don't do that. Listen attentively and empathetically, and listen to all the parties involved. If they mention another party, please listen to them. Find out. Don't say, oh, no, these people are my people. They are very loyal to me. They cannot be the ones that did this. Don't do that. Number three, seek common ground and shared interest. Find out, what do they truly want? This side say, what do you want? This side, what do you want? Let's know if one side is going to win based on organizational goals and objectives. Let's know if both of them are going to find common ground. Let's know if we're going to tell this one, okay, this one, agree to this one. We have to seek common ground and shared interest. You'll be surprised that sometimes two conflicting parties want the same thing. It's just that they are saying it in different ways. It does happen. So let's generate creative solutions through brainstorming. Let's brainstorm. This is our brain was meant to be stormed. Let's brainstorm. Let's think about, how do we solve these problems? What do we do to bring ourselves, our company, out of this situation? And then communicate openly and honestly to reach a resolution. Then implement and follow up on agreed upon solutions. Conflict resolution is possible. And in fact, when you have been able to solve a problem, you look back at yourself and you can tell yourself, I did a good job here. If you ever work in HR, you will discover that most of the things you do is solving conflicts, is trying to resolve conflicts. There is usually no promise that the conflicts will all disappear, but then to a large extent, your organization is not in chaos. It doesn't look like everybody's fighting each other, all right? And that's very, very important. Let's talk about negotiation skills. That's another thing you need to work on. Negotiation is a process in which two or more parties engage in discussions to reach a mutually acceptable agreement, which means that there are two parties They all have a particular thing they want, but they are coming together to discuss so that they can reach a particular agreement. Strong negotiation skills enables individuals to advocate for their interests and find win-win solutions and maintain positive relationships. So it is possible, very possible for the two conflicting parties or the people who are on the table negotiating, for them to come to a mutually agreeable place, all right? A place where both parties can say that we both won because we are able to consider each other. Most of the things people are fighting for in your organizations, most of the things people are fighting for in your organizations there are things that simple negotiation will solve. All right. So what are the key negotiation skills you need to have? Number one, preparation. Gather information. All right. Gather necessary information, set goals, and identify potential trade-offs. Number two, active listening. How is it that we have talked about listening almost so many times in this class? Active listening. You cannot over-listen. You cannot over-listen. Pay attention to the needs and the concerns of the other party. Yes, Mahesha said, so true. A major part of HR is conflict resolution across all levels, and being able to resolve issues subjectively is key. Honestly, thank you for that added wonderful thoughts on conflict resolution. All right. So we say pay attention to the needs and concerns of the other party and clearly articulate your position, needs, and proposed solution. Some people can be in conflict, but they're not able to communicate. That's why we need negotiation, all right? Another thing is problem solving. Let's collaborate to explore creative options and find mutually beneficial outcomes. That's part of a good negotiation skill. Flexibility. Let's not be rigid. Sometimes our own thoughts, the way we think things should be, might not be the exact way to really solve these issues. Remember, we're talking about emotional intelligence. There is no emotionally intelligent person that is rigid in thinking. No, not one. There is no emotionally intelligent person that's rigid in thinking. Every one of them is flexible. So be open to compromise. Be open to alternative solutions. And then be assertive. Hey, I can use 1 hour to give you a full lecture on assertiveness. I said in the previous module that assertiveness is not aggressiveness. Assertiveness is your ability to state what you want, to be bold and clear about what you want without offending the other party, without causing harm. That's assertiveness. Advocate for your interests while you respect the interests of others. That's assertiveness. Many of us, we want to please everybody. Many of us, we don't want to be the bad person. We don't want to be the one that they will say, oh, I don't want them to say that I am the one that is causing trouble. I don't want. If you know that this is what you want, stand by it. Some of us, because we are not assertive enough, we have been duped. Some of us, because we're not assertive enough, we have carried along people that have inflicted some damage to our name. Because we're not assertive to say this person has a very terrible character, and I should not carry this person along in the journey of life. So another key negotiation skill is that you have to maintain relationships. Consider the long-term impact of the negotiation on the relationship and work towards preserving it. These are the things that you do for key negotiation skills. Another thing apart from negotiation skills is collaboration and teamwork. Collaboration and teamwork. See, I said it before. You know, I mentioned NTN and ETEL. Collaboration is the in thing now. People, even organizations are understanding that as an organization, you cannot stand alone anymore. You need to collaborate with the people that are making it work. I would always tell my young people in church, If you are the one that is frying akara, get the bread seller around you. Get the akamu seller, be in collaboration with them, because these are the things that go in line with what you are selling. Collaboration is the process of working together towards a common goal, leveraging on the strengths and expertise of individuals to achieve a shared objective. That business you are doing low-key, there is some other person that might be doing it low-key or even higher key that is around you, but you have not advanced because you have refused to collaborate with the person. And you are praying, and you are fasting, and you have forgotten that you have been given everything that you need to succeed. An eye that sees, an ear that listens, so that you'll be able to collaborate with the person necessary to help your business advance further. Organizations are collaborating now. I have a sister, she's into hospital management. They've built a hospital, basically a physician-based hospital. But in that same hospital, they have brought an oculist into it. They've brought a dentist into it. They've brought an ENT doctor, So in that same hospital, you have branches, so that you don't have to come to this hospital to check your body and go to the other place to check your eye and go to the other place to check your teeth, People are collaborating. I want to ginger you this afternoon. I want to make you to begin to think out of the box. What more can you do for your business? Beyond praying, what else can you do? Beyond complaining, what else can you do? Yes, the country is what it is. So what are you going to do about it? Collaborate. Leverage on the strengths and expertise of everybody. You cannot do it alone. Newsflash. You cannot do it alone. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how wonderful. Honestly, I don't care how intelligent you are, but you cannot do it alone. Collaboration enhances creativity, problem solving, and overall productivity. It leads to better outcome and a positive work environment. Foster a collaborative work environment in your organization. In fact, some of you, your subordinates have ideas that can move your company to the next level. It's just that you are not willing to listen. That's what we're talking about. Relationship management. That's what we're talking about. Emotional intelligence. That's what we're talking about. Social awareness. Be aware of the potentials, of the capabilities, of the thinking pattern, of the ingenuity of the people around you. Foster a collaborative work environment that values diverse perspectives. I shared with you about one of my subordinates she had wonderful ideas, but the way she was passing it across was not it for me. But what did I do? I calmed down and listened. Encourage teamwork, encourage cooperation, and open sharing of ideas. Tell your people, we compete outside. We don't compete inside. We compete outside. Here, everybody is working towards a common goal. Everybody is working towards a shared objective. Leverage on the strength of each team member for collective success. That is why you need to know who your team members are. Identify their strengths. Identify their weaknesses too, so that you know what job you can give them. So you know what assignment you can delegate to them, so that you know how to handle them. Because if you know these things, you'll be able to leverage on their strengths. This is emotional intelligence for you people. It's not really complicated. It's something that will help you to live life like it's easy. When people see you succeeding, they will be like, what else is this person doing that I'm not doing? What they are not doing is that they are not applying EI. I can't wait to hear your good news. I can't wait to hear you saying how your life has changed simply because you applied what? Emotional intelligence. Leverage on the strengths of each team member, and you have collective success. Your team members have something. They are not as empty as you think. They are not as stupid as you think. They may be incapable in one area. That does not mean that they're stupid. So what are the key elements of collaboration? shared vision. Align all your team members towards a common purpose and goal. Number 2, clear communication. Establish open and transparent channels of communication. Let them know what your vision is. Let them know where you are heading to, so that you're able to facilitate information sharing and understanding, trust and respect. Nobody wants to work with somebody they cannot trust. There are people leaving your organization, not because you are not paying them well. You say, oh, I've been paying them. Not because you're not paying them well. They are leaving simply because they don't trust you anymore. The things you promised, you're not keeping to it. The things you said you will do, you're not doing that. Number 4, diversity and inclusion. Value and incorporate diverse perspectives, backgrounds, and skills. Don't stereotype people. Don't say, oh, all the people from this place, they don't know something. The people from this place, they don't do well in the organization. Somebody was sharing with me, I won't mention the place. The person said, all the people from this particular region, I've not been doing well with them. Every time I employ people like them, they do. But I told the person that I am currently working with people from that same region, and they're doing fine. So let's stop looking down on certain tribes or certain people from certain places. Number 5, role clarity. You may be excellent at planning, excellent at everything, but if you do not know how to clarify their roles, how to define roles, responsibilities, and expectations from each team member, you have what we have in most government parastatals, where people just sit down idly doing nothing. In some, I know some government offices are really working, but some, there is nothing they do from morning till night, because they're not defined roles. They're not defined responsibilities. They're not defined expectations from them. They just go to work and then come back later in the day. These people still have brains, working brains, because they have side businesses that they are doing. But at the end of the day, they are not being profitable to your organization. Number 6, collaborative tools. Utilize appropriate tools and technology to facilitate communication, coordination, and collaboration. These are the things that will help your collaborative efforts, all right? Conflict resolution. Oh, we have overkilled the subject matter. So in order to do good collaboration, you need to know how to manage conflict. Addressing conflicts constructively and finding win-win solutions to promote harmonious collaboration is very key. So the next thing we'd like to talk about under relationship management is what we call teamwork. Teamwork. People have adopted that the acronym team simply means together, everyone makes the team work. And how did they even put it together? Okay, I think this will be the time for me to ask my audience, who wants to be a millionaire? Then. What's that again? So please tell me, what is that acronym for team? You see, this is time. I want to learn from you. TEAM. Aha, Mehensha, thank you so much. So together, everyone achieves more. Excelente. All right, so that's team. Together, everyone achieves more, because alone we cannot achieve more. You want more? Then together, let's do it together. Yes, thank you, Ayorinde. Thank you, Pius Benjamin. Together, everyone achieves more. Together, we can't do it all by ourselves. So teamwork is the collective effort and cooperation of individuals working together towards a common goal, leveraging their complementary skills and expertise, all right? Effective teamwork enhances problem solving, innovation, and overall team performance. Together, everyone achieves more. So what are the key factors in teamwork? The key factors in teamwork, number 1 is trust and support. If you are going to have your team work together with you, there is need for what? Trust and support. Create an atmosphere or an environment of trust and support where team members feel safe to express their ideas, where they can ask for help, where they can take risk. All right. Number one, two way to also make sure your team to work is communication. Promote open and clear communication to facilitate coordination, information sharing, and effective decision making. Together, everyone makes the team work together. Everyone achieves more, right? Number three, interdependence, recognizing that each team member's contribution are essential and interdependent for success. You know, I've experienced this as a leader in my team when sometimes I see some of team members that I work with, they begin to compete with one another. You know, they begin to say, oh, she likes this person better. She likes that other person better. Oh, this person, she likes to work with this person and stuff like that. And I tell them, it is not about who I like to work with. I like to work with every one of you, but we need to understand that what each of you do in this team contributes wholly to the success of the team. So one particular day in one of our team bonding sessions, I sat my team down and I told them, I started asking the questions. What do you do? What do you do? They were all talking and saying what they were doing. So I told them, do you know that without this particular thing you do, you might think that, oh, just opening the office, cleaning the office, keeping the office neat is nothing. But I started helping them to understand that even keeping the office well, neat, healthy, and free from reptiles is something. Because see how it contributes to our overall goal. I'll get the other person, I'll break down their assignments, their activities, and show them how those little things they think they do contribute to the overall goal. By the time we were done with that meeting, everybody was excited. Everybody was happy. Everybody felt important. You know, because I noticed that there was this internal bickering and complaining amongst them. And I said, okay, let's do this. By the time I was done, everybody felt, in fact, it's just like saying that the eye is more important than the hand, and the hand is more important than the leg, and the leg is more important than the face. You know, every part of our bodies are useful. Every part of our bodies are needed. In the same way, everybody in our team is essential for our group success. Collaboration, actively engaging in collaborative activities such as brainstorming, joint problem solving, and decision making. These are the things that help everybody to know that we are part of this thing. We are working together. Number five, accountability, taking individual and collective responsibility for the team's goals and outcomes. Number six, adaptability, being flexible. We've talked about this, and adaptable to changes, challenges, and evolving circumstances. And number seven, on the key factors in teamwork, recognition and appreciation. I would honestly tell you that this factor is major. Is measured because there is this thing in every human being, even every one of us in this class. There is this thing in us that want us to be acknowledged, that want us to be recognized, that want us to be appreciated. If you remember how you feel when you're acknowledged, when you're recognized, when you're appreciated, please extend that same thing to others. When last did you stop by the gate and appreciate the gateman for keeping the rascals out, for keeping thieves out of your compound, for keeping your company and your property safe? You think, oh, because they're paid for it. Please sit back and appreciate their efforts. Yes, they may be paid for it, but a word will go a long way. Thank you for all that you do for us in this company. Your security job here is well appreciated. It will not remove anything from your skin. It will not take anything away from you. So recognize and appreciate your team members. And I think with that, I have brought you gradually to the end of this course. Let me share with you quickly our key takeaways for this course. I brought you to the end of this module, all right? Let me share with you the key takeaways for this particular module. We said that relationship management involves building, maintaining, and enhancing connections with others. We also shared with you that effective communication and active listening are essential for successful relationship management, irrespective of your personality, whether you're an introvert or extrovert. All right. Conflict resolution and negotiation skills contribute to resolving conflicts and reaching win-win solutions. All right. We also told you that collaboration and teamwork lead to improved productivity, innovation, and overall success. And with that, I can say thank you to everyone who has been part of this wonderful, wonderful class today. It's been my utmost pleasure sharing this knowledge with you. And I'm so glad I learned a few things from you too. So thank you so much. And let's do this again sometime soon. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, especially all those who participated in the class, who answered questions, who related, who shared their thoughts with me. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Suleiman. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Abiodun. Thank you, Samuel. Thank you, Tunde. Thank you, Jumai. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Hudu Bukari. Thank you, Saeed. Thank you, Mehensha. Thank you, Brenda. Njinebo, all right? Thank you, Adebisi. Thank you, Ayor Sase. Please forgive me if I made a mistake with that name. Thank you, Bulus Audu. Thank you, Taiwo Olatunde. Thank you, Kinsley Okani. Thank you, Ashami Su. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Bulus. Thank you, Ayorinde. Thank you, Oluwa Sheun. Thank you, Rejoice King. Thank you, Dr. Victor Asadume. Thank you, Ayodeji Bitoye. Thank you, Oluremi Elusoji. Thank you so much for your wonderful comments. I hope I didn't forget to mention anyone's name. If I forgot to mention anyone, please just say something so I see you in the chat room. Thank you, Elkanah. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Isaiah. Yes, Brenda said, thanks, ma'am. You are well versed with the topic. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I heard you said thank you for the educative sessions. Thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you. And it's always my pleasure to be in this classroom with great minds like you. Please, we'll give time for, Abdurrashid Abubakar Babashara. Thank you. I won't forget your name. All right, please, in the chat room, you would see a link that will help you to give us a 5-star review on Google. Please do so, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you, Pius Benjamin. Thank you, Najim Lasisi. I appreciate you. All right, thank you so much. And like Abdul rightly did, if I did not mention your name, please quickly type in a chat so that I can mention your name right now. If you have any questions, now will be the time for it. I promised I would unmute if anybody has to raise their hands to say anything. So now will be the time. If you have anything to share with the class, please do so. All right. Thank you, Technopop 4. That's how you register your name. So thank you, whoever owns the Technopop 4. Thank you, Adwa, Osaiba, Oduro. Thank you so much. I see you. I see you and I appreciate you. All right. Thank you, Orelaja Ademola Lawrence. Thank you so much for being a part of this class. All right. So I've seen 2 hands raised, and I'm going to quickly unmute the hand so that you can quickly say what you need to say. All right. I see several hands raised. Okay, let me start with Ayos. Oh, did I lower your hand? Okay, I'm asking you to unmute. Who did I unmute now? All right. All right, Benjamin, I have unmuted you. Please go ahead and say something.
Okay, madam, good afternoon, doctor.
Good afternoon.
Okay, thank you for the class. Thank you for the presentation, an excellent one. I have a simple question on emotional intelligence involving employees at a workplace.
All right.
Okay. Now, I happen to be an HR in an organization with vast experience from multinational companies. So most of the time, you feel like rolling over your experience to any new organization that you join. In an instances where junior staffs or even senior staffs find it difficult in just working with rules and regulations concerning the company they are working with. And if you want to call them to order, you want to talk to them about it, they feel like you are being too harsh, or you are not trying to understand their view or where they are coming from, and it seems you are trying to peg them too high. How do you handle people like this, like in an organization? How do you handle them?
All right, thank you so much for your question. Usually, how you handle them, especially when they feel that you are being too harsh, instead of letting them know what they want, letting them know what you want them to do. One of the ways you do it is instead of doing a group correction, sometimes begin to invite them one after the other. If they are so much, maybe you work in a very large organization, see what you can do. Invite their direct supervisor and explain to the supervisor why there is need for them to change the way they have been doing things. Because sometimes when you come into a new organization, you're trying to tell them, oh, this is how it should be done. But then there is a way they have been doing it. And then it becomes a problem for them because they feel like you're trying to you're coming to change how they do everything. So sometimes a one-on-one conversation, even over lunch, can soften their minds, okay, can calm the environment down. Just let the person know, I am not your enemy. I am not trying to show superiority over you. If we do this, the company will be better. And in turn, our lives will be better because we all work in this company. You understand? So if there is a way you can calm down to let them know that I'm not trying to do this just as a boss. I'm trying to do this because this is what is best for the organization. Try to talk to them, try to also listen to them and know what they are feeling. Because if you know what they are feeling, why are you feeling this way? In fact, I had a situation in my organization one time when I had people, they were just being rebellious all of a sudden. So I called one of the leaders and asked her and said, what's the matter? She said that it seems I am favoring the new people over the old people. So I wouldn't have thought anything like that. So I quickly called for a meeting, every one of them, both the old and the new, and let them know that it is, my focus is on the people who are doing what is right. So it's not that I'm favoring new people over the old people. I'm just looking out for anybody who is able to have an idea, a good idea that can move the organization forward. So if you're an old person in the organization, prove your years of experience by bringing in solutions and ideas. And before you knew it, every one of them knew that there was no sentiment against the old people. It was just me moving in the direction of people who were bringing solutions. So you can do a one-on-one discussion and let them know. And that way you'll be able to break down the walls that is between you and the people that you need to communicate with. All right. I hope this answers your question. All right. Ayosase, I've asked you to unmute. Please unmute and let us know.
Right. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you. Please start by telling me the correct pronunciation of your name so I don't make a mistake again.
Exactly. That's where I was going to start. I think you've done a good job with that name.
Okay.
Iosase. I know you stumbled at the beginning, but with time you got it.
All right. Thank you.
Iosase. So thank you very much.
Iosase. All right.
Yeah, that's right. First, let me thank you for a very, very insightful presentation.
Thank you.
The major takeaway I have here is that emotional intelligence is an indispensable skill.
Yes.
This presentation that you've shown to us today sees it across all sectors of, all fields: management, conflict resolution,
Yes.
leadership, name it. And so it is extremely, for me, it's an awesome lesson this afternoon.
Thank you.
Then I have a question which I posted, generally, but you were too busy to look at it.
Okay.
How can competitors in the same product or service market really collaborate within the context of emotional intelligence? I understand the lecture about collaboration, which is key in achieving emotional intelligence. But we've made references to what's going on between MTN and Airtel
Yes.
as an example of collaboration. Now, my question is: these are organizations that are in the same market,
Yes.
and they are key competitors to themselves.
Mm.
Now, how is whatever it is that they're doing, I call it an unusual intercourse, whatever it is that they're doing, how is it a collaboration within the context of emotional intelligence?
All right. Thank you so much. Yes, I say.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, the question you asked was people who are competing, how do they collaborate? They collaborate by finding areas of common interest, areas where they both will have like a win-win kind of situation. For different businesses, there will be different areas of collaboration. That is why I may not be very specific about it, but the leaders in those organizations can decide to say, okay, let us find out areas that we can put hands together to do something on this. Like the MTN Airtel thing we have seen, I'm sure that they both know that they are still competing. They are both competitors in the Nigerian market, but they found common ground. So the advice I would give for competing organizations is to find common ground. And this they can do by lots and lots of research. They should sit down and look for how do we find common ground so that at the end of the day, we are both winning. Remember, they are competing. And also remember, what they want at the end is that they want both of them to win. Now, if they find out that at the end of the day, they are coming together would be able to make both of them win, then that's collaboration. Let me give you a local example. My aunt, she is into chicken rearing, all right, livestock farming. So she has been doing the chicken rearing for a while, but it happened that a particular hotel got in contact with her and asked her to deliver over 3,000 chickens one day. So, but then she noticed that she didn't have that much. She came to me and she was like, see, she has been praying for such an opportunity and she didn't know what else to do. And now this opportunity has come and she's confused. I told her, calm down, auntie. See what you're going to do. Look for one of your friends or somebody around that does the same business with you. All you have to do is that if the chickens go for 7,000 per chicken, you can tell the person, well, are you willing to sell all your chickens for 5,000? And if the person is willing to sell, you join hands together. At the end of the day, this other person has grown chickens that he or she needs to sell off, and you are still making 2,000 on each of the chicken that you do not own. So at the end of the day, she was excited about the idea. She went to the person. The person was so grateful. According to the person she went to, that he would have sold for even 4,000 per chicken because the chickens were already feeding off on feed that would have been used for another set of chickens. So the person was happy. It was a win for the person who owned the chicken. It was also a win for her. The hotel that she supplied to now had more confidence that she can actually do the business. And they told her, okay, every week, give us 3,000 chickens. So now she is no longer rearing just chicken. She's also looking for other people who are doing the same business with her to supply the chickens. This is just a local example, but it applies. If we can only find common ground between our organization and the other competing organization, we will be able to do business together. And remember, is emotional intelligence, because this is relationship management. You won't be able to meet somebody who you don't trust, who you don't have a relationship with, and begin to talk about their chickens. They won't want to do any such such business with you. So this is how emotional intelligence applies to even the minutest aspects of our lives. All right, Frank 18, I'm asking you to unmute.
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I just want to contribute a little bit on the MTN Airtel collaboration.
That's nice.
Yes, the bottom line is all of them are profit oriented, and they've
Yes.
seen that the market in Nigeria is big enough for everybody. So the best way to collaborate and make more money out of Nigerians is to put heads together.
Okay.
Now, remember the case of Wema Bank, Oceanic Bank, who packed up. They couldn't find common ground for collaboration with any of the banks because nobody wanted them. The market is still large enough, but nobody wanted them because of certain factors.
Yes.
I agree with you in your conclusion. It has been a very, very good afternoon, and I hope that your lectures could be in the evening when the sun is not too high as knocking our heads. Congratulations, Lolo. Congratulations, Lolo. Well done.
Thank you so much, Mr. Franke team. That was a wonderful contribution. We really appreciate it, and we learned something from it too.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Please, Oluwaseun Ibrahim, I'm asking you to unmute. Let's hear from you, please.
Good afternoon, Doctor, and
Good afternoon,
everyone. Thank you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, and I really appreciate the contribution you're putting in to help build our nation and the community. May the Lord God bless you real good.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So yeah, I have a question that I want to ask. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a lead engineer with with a particular organization here in Abuja, and we're embarking on certain projects at different locations. So, but it happened that pre-election 2023 and during and post-election, we had a little breakdown. There was, the whole projects were kind of they were paused, put on hold due to some factors, unforeseen circumstances, if I can put that way. So, but all along the line, we had the issue, with the payment. Now, in one of your points, you say that it is not about money. It's not always about money. It's about building relationship. I agree with you 100% on that. But in our present world, especially in this part of the world that we are in Nigeria, people see money as a major thing, and they don't joke with you when it comes to money. You see everybody is looking up and they are ready to do anything. But however, why those events were just happening during the election and the post-election, there was no payment, nothing was happening. So I some of the colleagues, some of the professionals we have around were like, oh, what is happening? Are we not going to get some money? Are we not going to get paid? I told them, just wait. We had some issues and we're trying to resolve it. Even I have not even been paid too. So somehow, when after the election, we're asked, okay, now we're resuming projects and we're going to continue and all of that. I called a couple of the professionals that were working together. I told them, look, we're resuming. They said, no, I'm sorry, I'm engaged somewhere, I'm busy somewhere, I can't come back again. I'm sorry, you guys can just go ahead with the project. So I was like, okay. So when I spoke with the head, I told him, I said, this is why. It's okay, well, no problem. But somehow, what happened to them, I also experienced the same thing, because somehow I was able to manage the situation. I was able to absorb everything that came, all along. It wasn't really easy then. It wasn't easy because I know I have kids and I have a wife. I have a lot of bills to pay. But I was able to manage the situation. So when we now resumed, it was like, okay, just hold on, guys. We're going to say to you guys this. I said a lot of things. What I'm saying in essence is that at the end of the day, there's a way it affected everyone emotionally. It affected everyone, and a lot of people were down and so many things. So, but the head of the management was not really, putting in a lot of kind of empathy to show that, okay, guys, this is sometimes when I call one or two persons, I say, okay, how are you guys doing? I hope you're faring. How are you faring? I hope you're doing well. They say, look, it's not easy. Have you has the head called you? Has he called you? He said, no, he has not called me. He has not said anything. So, but I was doing a lot of work trying to make sure that to show that empathy. But at the end of the day, nothing happened from the head. So now, in such a situation, how can one handle it? Like for me, it affected me. Somehow, I'm still having a lot of money to collect from them, from the organization. So, but in such a case, how can you handle it with them? How can you explain? How can you express yourself, to them about how, about the way things went all the way without getting paid and so many things that happened. So, because this thing it really affected everybody emotionally, psychologically, a lot of people were down. So my question is, please, in what way? Because the head is not even realizing yet that
Hey, Mr. Oluwase Ibrahim, please,
yes,
let's
ma'am.
make the
Yes.
question brief. Our time is up. So the
Okay.
facilitator
All right. All right.
this question
All
and
right.
that of
Yeah, that's my
rejoice,
question.
and
That's
that
my
would be
question.
all.
How can I? All right. Thank you very much, doctor. So that's my question. I'm even on it already. I said that's my question. That how can one explain? How can you now open up to the organization that okay, this is what happened and how what's the way forward?
All right. Thank you so much.
In handling such situation. Thank
Ibrahim.
you very much. Thank you.
Yes. Because I do not have all the sides to the story, right? But then what I can say is that in emotional intelligence, from your own part, you can do what you can do, right? Emotional intelligence does not mean that
Yeah.
we control what the other party is going to do. And it is because of issues
Okay.
like this that we encourage people to let their organizations know that there is an institute that handles courses like this so that they can actually come and learn. Because imagine there is a CEO right in this class, you know that after learning
Yeah.
this emotional intelligence, the people who work under that CEO are already blessed because they would
Yes.
not have to suffer what you had to go through. By the way, I am so sorry that you had to go through all of that. And that's
Thank you.
that's the essence of this course. That's the essence of everybody going through emotional intelligence so that you will know how what you do affects others. Now, I'm sure you must have gone to explain to him and tell him, see what he's doing, but he may not have understood because
Yeah,
he was
exactly.
not also able to have what we call social awareness. The least we can do from our own side is to be on the right path of emotional intelligence, to do what we can do. But we honestly cannot control how other people respond to what we do. That's why we're clamoring on everybody getting trained in emotional intelligence, because if we know better, we will ultimately do better. I hope
Do
this
better.
handles a little part of the question, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much,
All
doctor.
right.
I think I
Thank
will talk
you.
to the organization. I will try to bring them in for this too. Thank you very much.
That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah,
All right.
thank
Our
you. You're welcome.
final question for today, or comment or observation, is from Rejoice King Akinsule. Please, I'm asking you to unmute.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can
Greetings
hear
to
you.
the class. Thank you very much, ma'am, for the
Thank
wealth
you.
of intelligence.
Thank
Actually,
you.
you got me looking for some people immediately. As the lecture was going on, I went back to old relationships and quickly trying to say, how are you there?
Wow.
And I've been receiving responses.
Wow.
Like, you remember me, and I felt ashamed. Thanks so much for, we get too busy sometimes and we lose relationships. Thanks so much.
Yes.
Man,
Thank you.
it's a contribution.
All
When
right.
the HR man talked about his peculiar situation, I just feel like saying a little thing to support what you have said.
All right.
Few years ago, I overworked myself and I fell ill, very ill. I had a heart problem and it was bad. And I didn't have the energy to work as hard as I used to do in my office. Then my direct boss became mad at me. And she does at every meeting, took every chance to insult me and talk about how lazy I have become. And then there was so much query. I had a query, which I knew was intentional. I had a query on something like, she is in the office on a Sunday and I went to the salon to do my hair without asking for permission. And she sent me a query I must answer within 3 hours. Awkward things. Initially, I got angry, but somehow, and it was because she went for an HR training and felt she's too nice to us and she just wanted to be very professional. I would like that our dear man that asked the question search himself if he is indeed truly not harsh. The expectation HR have on people, some expectations are quite unrealistic. You know, when I got my freedom, she took me to the HOD and requested my appointed be terminated. And the HOD was like, wow. So she told the HOD she sent me like 5 queries and she's out of her limit. So the HOD sat me down and said, why, tell me why I should sack you and why I should not.
Which is something that person should have done first.
Yeah. And I told him why he shouldn't sack me, that I'm working at recovery. So I showed him the medical reports. He faced my direct boss and said, why would you do this to her? She's the only hand we have in this particular section. And she hasn't done anybody any wrong. So you want to tell me she didn't tell you about health? She couldn't talk because I actually went to her crying with the report. You know, I was able to transform what she did to strength. That was how I got to online lectures. I just wanted to be happy. Before I knew it, I became a part of IIPM. IIPM turned my focus around. Then I gathered strength with what my HOD said. I found myself back in school. I'm doing my project. I'm writing my school, doing my public health project, all because at a time, somebody threatened me with termination. Sometimes when we become too harsh on people, we make them see alternatives. And eventually, if all the staff begin to see alternatives, he will be the one they will terminate eventually. Because it's like since he came, everybody has been leaving. You cannot overemphasize the importance of EI in your life. And where I'm lacking, I've gotten points today. See me now. I'm also receiving WhatsApp, even as we are talking.
Wonderful.
And it's making me happy. And when I started having joy around me.
Oh, thank you so much. This is so heartwarming.
Yes, my God bless you, ma.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
and you too. Thank you so much. This is so heartwarming. I'm sure everybody in this class would have lots of things to think about after this class. Thank you so much, everybody. Your contributions, your questions, your interactions were all wonderful. It is at this point I'll be handing over to Dr. Banito. There are questions in the chat room, but Dr. Banito will be handling every one of them as he begins to round up with this class. Thank you so much. Henshaw says sometimes HR is faced with the challenge of doing the company's or some boss's dirty job. It takes a disciplined or ethical HR leader to say no. Then you are seen as rebellious. It takes a high EI level to actually scale through. That's true. And with this, I want to say thank you, everyone, for having me in this class. And let me hand over to Dr. Banito as he brings this session to a close. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of the day.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Ifeoma. Please, can we give her a round of applause? She has done overwhelmingly great. Please, can we give her a round of applause? Applaudisse. She has done overwhelmingly awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It is so beautiful. And I'm very, very sure that our emotional intelligence level has been expounded. Now, just imagine that module 1 of emotional intelligence is like this. Imagine what module 2, module 3, module 4 will look like. So it has been wonderful. Thank you so much, Dr. Ifeoma. As we round up, I will take about 5 minutes and then we will round up. I would like to appreciate everyone once again for joining us. From our alumni board, I saw the alumni accountant who had been with us since yesterday, Mr. Debisi Manuel Jato. He has been with us. I saw the secretary of the alumni board, Mr. Deyemi Caleb. The president was with us yesterday. and several others. Thank you so much. All the people joining us from outside of Nigeria, irrespective of the time zones, we thank you. And I heard the name here today. I heard Mrs. Elusoji was in class. Is it true? Mrs. Elusoji, were you in class? Okay. So if I'm even seeing her in the chat room. Well done, ma. So thank you to everyone who had been with us from yesterday to now. It has been awesome. Thank you. And our utmost okay, before I round up on this, please, can we get someone to give a vote of thanks to Dr. Ifeoma before she leaves? Can we get someone to do a vote of thanks for her? A thank you to her. Okay, so I have Ayorinde Alice. Please, can we do that in 1 minute?
All right, Your Excellency, distinguished attendee in class, and I want to sincerely appreciate Dr. Ifeoma on behalf of all the attendees in this wonderful module. Thank you for your insightful teaching and impactful teaching. May God continue to bless you in the name of God. And secondly, I want to sincerely appreciate IIPM for doing this wonderful, for bringing up this wonderful training. You are doing excellently well. And I can tell you, I'm a product of IIPM. And in the last 6 months that I've been inducted as a member, certified, I have been earning in international currency with my certifications. And it's amazing. And I also want to thank every member of these in this class. If you are not a member, I also want to use this opportunity to tell you to be a member of IIPM and attend all the training. They are wholesome and they are impactful. Thank you, and God bless you once again, Dr. Ifeoma.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alex. Now that you are earning in hard currency, please don't pay in Naira. Make sure you pay in dollars. Okay. All right. Thank you to everyone. The attendance will be in the chat room shortly, but some things have been drawn to our notice, so we'd like to call attention to that. We noticed there had been some technical issues with the registration. Someone called attention to that yesterday. So the people in the technical department have been trying to work on that to find out what exactly is the challenge. Then number two, we've been able to make this announcement that IPM programs are project-based. So for each program we finish, we close it, and then we move to the next level. This means that if you're interested in the certification, please ensure to make the necessary payments. We have 4 modules in this program, 4 grouped modules. Each one is 7,500 for members and 10,000 for non-members. If you wish to pay per module, you are welcome. If you wish to pay all at once, please, you're welcome. And please note that completing the module does not automatically make you a certified emotional intelligence expert. You need to request for the certificate and make all the necessary other requirements around the certification. All right, okay. So that's that. Then number 3, we have an upcoming program scheduled for Wednesday and Thursday, being for a break. So for our Muslim brethren, we are not going to have it all day. It's just maybe for 1 hour or 2 hours. It's going to be on business development, business planning and development. So you are welcome to join us. And then by next week, Friday and Saturday, we'll be having 2 programs as well. We'll have the project management professional. So if you're interested in project management, you can join us there. And then strategic management professional. If you're interested in strategic management, you also join us there. So we'll have 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. respectively. If you're not yet a member of IPM, then maybe this could be a time for you to start planning to become a member. So for each certificate, for each module of certificate, for members, you pay 7,500. For non-members, you pay 10,000. If you want to pay cumulatively, that means you're going to be paying 30,000 for members and then 40,000 for non-members. And the account details is as shown on the screen. So you have the account number for those who wish to make deposits. And then for those who wish to make online payment or USD payment, please kindly visit ipmi.org/pay to get that information there. Okay. Now, if you want to be a member of IPM, if you want to become a member of IPM, please kindly visit elearning.ipmi.org/membership -2, or just go to elearning.ipmi.org and then go to membership. Okay, you'll find the details there. Now, in the presence of no further questions, I will be sharing the link, attendance link, in the chat room. So I've just shared the attendance link in the chat room. Please make sure you fill the attendance the way you want your name to appear on the certificate. Please fill the attendance the way you want your name to appear on the certificate. Yeah.